After more than half a month of continuous heat, it finally started to rain. When it rained, Cheng Ye's leg became uncomfortable. The injured area felt like an ice needle piercing into the bone. It was still summer. If it were winter, he couldn't imagine how much his leg would hurt. Cheng Yi could only apply a hot towel over and over again to alleviate the pain. The rain grew heavier, pattering on the eaves like firecrackers exploding. The arcs formed by the raindrops splashing on the water surface were just as someone had once said, "When you hold an umbrella and look at the puddles, you'll remember me saying that rain is God's fireworks." This rain came out of nowhere, and it's coming down so hard, Auntie Lou said, standing under the eaves and looking into the distance. As she watched, she noticed a figure on the roadside hurrying towards them. She squinted her eyes. Who is that, running around outside in such heavy rain? Cheng Yi got up and followed Auntie Lou's gaze. He recognized her at a glance. It was Qiao Ran. What was she doing here? It's Qiao Ran. You mean Miss Qiao? Why is she? Auntie Lou hadn't even finished her sentence when she saw Cheng Yi dash out into the rain. Leaning on his crutch, he rushed through the downpour, looking just like the loquat sapling by the door, swaying precariously in the wind and rain. Auntie Lou quickly grabbed 2 umbrellas from inside and chased after him, shouting, "Mr. Cheng, slow down. Be careful, the ground is slippery." Qiao Ran had only brought 1 suitcase and was wearing a white dress. She had checked the weather, which said there would be no rain today, but who would have known that dark clouds would suddenly gather and a torrential downpour would ensue. Hail-sized drops pelted down, striking with a sharp pain. In no time, she was soaked to the bone. Her carefully applied makeup for the day was completely ruined, with no time to fix it. Seeing Cheng Yi running out in the rain, Qiao Ran was so startled that she dropped her suitcase and ran to support his arm. "It's raining so hard. What are you doing out here? What are you doing here?" They spoke at the same time, and then fell silent at the same time. The rain-drenched Qiao Ran completely. She looked travel-worn, and her gaze towards Cheng Yi was filled with a deep longing. Auntie Lou raised her hand and held an umbrella over their heads. "You 2 go back first. I'll get the suitcase." "Thank you, Auntie Lou." Qiao Ran took the umbrella from Auntie Lou's hand and helped Cheng Yi back inside. Once inside, Cheng Yi wiped the rain from his face and found a clean towel for Qiao Ran. "Dry yourself off first." Qiao Ran's white dress clung to her body, outlining her figure. The wet fabric had become somewhat transparent, faintly revealing the color of the bra she wore underneath. Cheng Yi averted his gaze, feeling a bit awkward. Just then, Auntie Lou returned with the suitcase. "Auntie Lou, go make some ginger soup." "All right." Auntie Lou closed the umbrella and glanced at Qiao Ran, who was dripping from head to toe. "Miss Qiao, you should go take a shower first. Drink the ginger soup after your shower so you don't catch a cold." "Okay, thank you for the trouble." Qiao Ran lowered her head, looking at the floor she had wet. She shuffled her feet awkwardly and said to Cheng Yi, "Why don't you shower first? You're wet too." "I'm not as wet as you are. I just need to change my clothes." Cheng Yi asked her, "Do you know where the bathroom is?" Qiao Ran looked up and shot him a playful glare. "Of course I do. It's only been 2 months. My memory isn't that bad." Her towel-dried hair was a little frizzy, making her look like a drenched kitten. Qiao Ran didn't act coy. After a brief moment of unfamiliarity, she treated the place as her own home. "Am I still staying in the same room?" "Yes." "Then I'll put my suitcase inside first." Cheng Yi watched her go in, and she quickly came out with her clothes. Cheng Yi stood at the door in a daze, feeling like this was all a dream. Why was Qiao Ran here instead of at work? Even if it was out of guilt, she wouldn't need to go this far. Besides, he had already made it clear to her that his leg was fine, and no one was to blame, especially not her. She didn't need to feel guilty or responsible for him. Moreover, he had already accepted the money from Qiao Ran's father. 60 million was the final payment, settling the score. From now on, they owed each other nothing. Auntie Lou finished making the ginger soup and brought a bowl to Cheng Yi first. "Mr. Cheng, the soup is ready. You drink first." Cheng Yi took the bowl. The ginger soup was not tasty at all, spicy and bland. It made him frown. Cheng Yi asked, "Do we have any brown sugar in the house?" "There's some in the fridge. Add some brown sugar and cook it a little longer. Get it to CEO Qiao when she comes out." If he couldn't stand it, Qiao Ran certainly wouldn't be able to. Adding sugar would at least neutralize the spiciness of the ginger and make it more palatable. When Qiao Ran came out of the shower, she was wearing a blue dress. She was drying her hair with a towel as she walked out. "Where's the hairdryer?" Cheng Yi handed it to her. He watched her plug it in and start drying her hair. Qiao Ran seemed impatient with this task, finishing as soon as her scalp was dry, even though the ends of her hair were still dripping. "CEO Qiao, why did you come here?" Am I not welcome? Changyi asked. Don't you have work to do? Xiao Ran unplugged the hairdryer. I've temporarily handed my work over to my dad. I haven't had a proper break after working for so many years, so I've taken all the annual leave I've accumulated over the years. If you were to rank who worked the longest hours in the company, Xiao Ran would be number one. Her workload was even heavier than a programmer's. In all his years as her assistant, Changyi had never seen her take a proper rest. When others worked overtime, Xiao Ran was working overtime. When others got off work, Xiao Ran was still working overtime. She was probably even working from home on her days off. Talk about being a workaholic. No one could beat her. You're spending your annual leave here? I like it here. If I'm going to take a vacation, I'll definitely choose a place I like. I think it's very nice here, cooler than Rongsheng, with better scenery and air. The air was indeed good. As for the scenery, perhaps he had gotten used to it and didn't find anything special about it. If my being here makes you feel uncomfortable, then I'll leave. I'll leave as soon as the rain stops, Xiao Ran said with a hint of grievance, her eyes glistening. Changyi felt as if he'd been scalded. Of course not. I couldn't be happier to welcome you. Why would I chase you away? If you like it here, you can stay. Stay as long as you like. It was a polite remark, but Xiao Ran seemed to take it seriously. Her slightly reddened eyes instantly brightened, with a mischievous glint deep within. You said it. Changyi felt as if he had inadvertently fallen into a trap, and the crucial part was he didn't even know what kind of trap it was. Auntie Lu came out with the ginger soup and called to Xiao Ran. Miss Xiao, the ginger soup is ready. Thank you, Auntie Lu. Xiao Ran took a sip. The sweetness overpowered the spiciness of the ginger. This bowl of soup wasn't hard to drink. Auntie Lu said, Mr. Chung asked me to add brown sugar to the soup. It shouldn't be too bad, right? It's not bad, but it wasn't exactly delicious either. She could still taste a bit of ginger now and then. She drank the soup in one go. Changyi knows I don't like ginger. He even made me brown sugar water before when I had menstrual cramps. This single sentence sent Auntie Lu's imagination running wild. The way she looked at Changyi changed, her mind conjuring up countless versions of a love story. Just think, what kind of relationship would a man have with a woman to care for her during her period and make her brown sugar water? The incident with the brown sugar water had happened 2 years ago. If Xiao Ran hadn't mentioned it, Changyi would have forgotten. He explained, I used to be CEO Xiao's assistant. Auntie Lu looked at Changyi with a strange expression for one simple reason. Her son was also an assistant, and she had never heard of an assistant needing to cook brown sugar water or prepare boxed lunches for their boss. CEO Xiao, how many days off do you have? A month. Was she planning to stay here for the entire month? A strange feeling arose in Changyi's heart. Xiao Ran rested her chin on one hand, tilting her head slightly as she looked at him. Didn't you say before that you wanted to pave the roads in the village? I happen to know a building materials supplier who owes me a favor. If we work with him, the price he offers will definitely be 20% lower than the market price. Changyi had a rough price list in his head. A quick calculation showed that this 20% would save a lot of money. I think this arrangement would be better. I'll have him send you a detailed price list. That way, you'll have a clear understanding of all the specific costs. As for the workers, you can hire people from the village. This will not only provide some job opportunities for the villagers, but also help improve their lives. Xiao Ran's plan was much more detailed than Changyi's. He was at a loss for words. Should he accept? From a purely beneficial standpoint, accepting it would be a huge gain. The money saved could be used for many other things. But once he accepted, the favor would be too great, and he feared it would be difficult to repay. You can think about it first. Make a decision after you've considered it. There's no rush. Xiao Ran appeared casual, but she had already cast her bait, just waiting for Changyi to bite. This debt of gratitude was one Changyi had to owe. How could they interact if there was no debt of gratitude? Only by owing her would he remember her for the rest of his life. Changyi looked at the mountains in the distance. If the roads here were paved with concrete and streetlights were installed, the school children would no longer have to worry about slipping on rainy days and getting their clothes dirty. If there was still money left after paving the roads, he wanted to renovate the school and widen the streets. Many villagers grew fruit trees, and better roads would make it easier to transport the fruit. Changyi thought about many things and finally made up his mind. CEO Xiao, I'd like to see the price list. I'll have them prepare it and send it over right away. The wait wasn't long. After Xiao Ran made the call, the other party sent the documents over in less than 5 minutes, clearly well prepared. Xiao Ran handed her phone to Changyi. It'll be clearer if you look at it on a computer. Changyi took it, enlarged the screen, and was shocked after reading just a few columns. He knew this building materials supplier. He had asked around for prices a while ago, and the price he was quoted then compared to this one was reduced by far more than 20%. Just how big of a favor did this person owe Xiao Ran to offer such a price? Xiao Ran asked, "Is the price right? If not, I can ask them to give a further discount." Cheng Yi asked, "CEO Xiao, are you sure they owe you a favor and you're not holding something over their heads?" If this was a favor, then the power of that favor was immense. Xiao Ran replied with a faint smile, "If you want to see it that way, that's fine too." Xiao Ran had always been the one to get the better end of the deal in business. People secretly called her a female bandit, saying she basically robbed people blind. Even so, countless people still lined up, eager to work with her. "CEO Xiao, I made up my mind. I'll go with the plan you suggested." The result was just as she had expected. Xiao Ran held her phone. "All right, I'll have them bring the contract over for you to sign right now. There's no need to be in such a hurry. When you want to do something, do it immediately. Don't waste time hesitating." As she spoke, Xiao Ran called the other party and gave a few instructions before hanging up. What Cheng Yi had expected to take a month to resolve was settled by Xiao Ran in just 1 hour. And what seemed fast to him was, in reality, a proposal that Xiao Ran had arranged for her team to work overtime to create as soon as she heard he was going home to help build a road for his village. Now Cheng Yi truly owed her a huge favor. He hadn't even paid off the old debts of gratitude, and now there was another one. Well, a mountain of debt won't crush you. He would just have to pay it back slowly. Cheng Yi stood up and bowed to Xiao Ran. "CEO Xiao, thank you. You're not my employee anymore, so why are you still calling me CEO Xiao? Just call me by my name." He had gotten used to calling her that after so many years. It would be hard to change in a short time, and it felt a bit disrespectful to use her name directly. As if sensing his difficulty, Xiao Ran pushed him a little. "Call me by my name right now. If you call me CEO Xiao again, I'll get upset. Of course, you can also call me Ran Ran. That's what my parents call me." Cheng Yi immediately complied. Xiao Ran. It took a great deal of courage to say her name for the first time, but after the first time, it would gradually become a habit and feel more and more natural. Xiao Ran's expression froze for a moment. Then she stood up and stretched her shoulders. "My arms are a bit sore. Look, my hair isn't even dry, and the back of my dress is soaked. If only someone could help me blow dry it." She was looking directly at Cheng Yi as she said this. If he didn't get the hint, then his years as her assistant had been for nothing. Without a second thought, Cheng Yi took out the hairdryer and plugged it in. "I'll help you." Xiao Ran's hair was thick and long, sliding through his fingers like satin. The hairdryer couldn't be too close, or it would burn her, nor could it be too far. His fingers accidentally brushed against the nape of her neck, and he saw her shrug her shoulders. "Did I burn you?" "No." If you listen closely, you could hear a slight tremor in her voice. Cheng Yi treated himself as a professional hairstylist, focusing solely on drying her hair. As he did, he noticed that the dress she was wearing was a bit loose, revealing not only her shoulders, but also her back. Her skin was very fair, with a hint of pink on her shoulders. Her neck was long and slender, and the curve of her shoulders and neck was perfect, ideal for wearing a necklace. The hairdryer in his hand wasn't just blowing Xiao Ran's hair, it was blowing his heart. He felt inexplicably hot, as if something was about to burst out, something he dared not think about. No one who met Xiao Ran could dislike her. Even De Huang, the family dog, loved to act cute around her. "How long has De Huang been with your family?" 10 years. That long. A 10-year-old dog was equivalent to a middle-aged or elderly person. In the countryside, it was rare for a dog to live for 10 years. It wasn't that local dogs had short lifespans, but that they were often stolen by dog thieves before they got old. "I found a Huang in a trash can when I was in high school." Xiao Ran asked curiously. "So are you his big brother or his dad?" "He's my dog's son." "I see." While Cheng Yi wasn't looking, Xiao Ran whispered into De Huang's ear. "De Huang, how about I become your mom in the future?" The next day, the building material supplier came with the contract for Cheng Yi to sign. All the materials were to be sourced from this one company. Cheng Yi read it over and over again, and only after confirming there were no issues did he sign. He didn't know if the other party was happy, but he certainly was right now. A rainbow appeared after the rain cleared. Taking advantage of the fine weather, Annie Lu took out all the family's quilts and clothes to air them out, and at the same time, cleaned out some old things to be thrown away. She pulled a sweater with holes in it from the closet. "Mister, Chung, do you still want this? It's all torn." Chung Yi looked at the sweater in Annie Lu's hand. His grandmother had knitted it for him when he was in middle school. She had deliberately made it large, so he could wear it for many years. He wore it from middle school until his freshman year of college, and even after it wore out, he couldn't bear to throw it away. To him, it wasn't just a simple sweater, but a memento left by his grandmother. "Don't throw it away. Xiao Ran saw this and understood completely. Cheng Yi had his grandmother, and she had hers. She could empathize with him perfectly. Xiao Ran examined the sweater. Looking at the stitch work, she thought it could probably be mended. When her grandmother used to knit, she loved to watch by her side, learning by imitation. Seeing she was bored, her grandmother taught her. She was a quick learner. Annie Lu, do you have a needle and thread at home? No. You know how to knit? A little. I want to mend this sweater. Since there was no needle and thread at home, they had to go out and buy some. Coincidentally, Cheng Yi was also planning to go to town to look for a suitable location for a flower shop. Cheng Yi walked with his crutch, his injured leg growing steadier with each step. He was wearing shorts, and the wound on his leg looked gruesome, attracting stares from passers-by all along the way. It wasn't Xiao Ran's first time in town. She had come once with Annie Lu during the days of his grandmother's funeral. Nowadays, fewer and fewer people knitted, so there were no specialty shops selling such things. Xiao Ran spotted a general store that had everything. The items inside were cheap, and many students frequented it. On the wall was a sign that said "Shop for Transfer." Cheng Yi went in and asked, "Ma'am, are you planning to sell this shop?" "Yes, my son is getting married and moving to City Z, and I'm going with them." "Name a price. If it's suitable, I'll buy it." The owner named a price. It was clear she was sincere about selling. The price was reasonable and within Cheng Ye's expected range. "All right, I'll take the shop. Prepare the contract and paperwork, and if there are no problems, we'll sign and pay." The owner had already prepared everything. She asked, "What do you plan to do with this shop?" "Open a flower shop." The owner gave him a strange look. "No one will buy flowers if you open a flower shop here. You'd be better off selling little trinkets like I do. Don't look down on the things I sell here. A lot of people come to my shop every day, especially students." Her shop had everything: food, drinks, toys, and of course, notebooks and pens for students. It even had cups and bowls for home use. Cheng Yi looked around the general store. Although it was cluttered, the owner had organized everything neatly. It was easy to find what you wanted. Cheng Yi found this useful and made a mental note. As he passed a message board, he saw Xiao Ran standing there, looking up. The wall was densely covered with sticky notes. This wall was the owner's pride and joy, and it was precisely this wall that attracted many students to visit. "I'm quite reluctant to part with this wall. When you renovate, you can leave it up. This wall holds the wishes of many people, and the words they wanted to say, but didn't dare." The owner was observant. Seeing Xiao Ran looking intently, she picked up a pen and walked over. "Would you like to leave a message too?" How could Xiao Ran possibly write on a message board? Just as he thought this, Cheng Yi saw her take the pen from the owner's hand. With surprise and curiosity, Cheng Yi watched her write on a pink sticky note. "May all of Cheng Ye's wishes come true. May his path be smooth. May he be joyful every year, and may every year be better than the last. May he meet a good person. Xiao Ran." A sticky note was very small, with limited space for words, not even enough for a date. Xiao Ran stood on her tiptoes and stuck the note at the very top of the wall. Among the dense cluster of notes, one more was not out of place and quickly blended in. But to Cheng Yi, it stood out like the moon surrounded by stars. Why would Xiao Ran write about him? Thump, thump, thump. What was that loud noise? It was his own heart, pounding like a drum. He stared in a daze, an indescribable feeling welling up inside him, like ants crawling over his skin, a little itchy, a little painful, but he didn't dislike the sensation. "I'm done writing," Xiao Ran said, turning to look at him. Cheng Yi asked, "Why didn't you write about yourself? Compared to me, I think you need blessings more." That was true. After all, Xiao Ran already had a smooth path. As for a good person, Cheng Yi hadn't sworn off love because of Xiao Shanshan. He just wasn't in the mood for it right now and hadn't met anyone he liked. He instinctively looked at Xiao Ran. In the light, her cheeks were soft and well-defined, her lips rosy. Her long hair was loosely tied up behind her head, and the eyes she looked at him with were crystal clear. "Young man, your girlfriend is so good to you, always thinking of you." The owner looked at them with admiration and envy. In all her years here, she had never seen such a good-looking and well-matched couple. The man was handsome and talented, the woman beautiful as a flower. You could say they were celebrities, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration. Just looking at them made her happy. Cheng Yi snapped back to reality. Fearing he might offend Xiao Ran, he quickly explained, "We're not a couple." "Not a couple?" The owner looked from one to the other. She was a good judge of character and could clearly sense Xiao Ran's feelings for Cheng Yi. As for Cheng Yi, perhaps even he didn't realize how nervous his explanation sounded, like a clumsy attempt to hide something. Well, if they weren't, they weren't. The ambiguous phase was just as sweet to watch. The owner pushed a pen and a sticky note in front of Changyi. Do you want to write something? Changyi shook his head. I'll pass. I don't have anything to write. Xiao Ran remembered what they came for. She asked, Ma'am, do you have yarn and knitting needles here? I do. The owner found some. This is all I have, not many colors. If you see something you like, just take it. It's on me. The yarn had been sitting there for a while. Only in winter would some students buy it to knit scarves. Xiao Ran sorted through it for a while and finally found a color similar to Cheng Ye's sweater. Ma'am, I'll take this. How much is it? It's not easy for you to run a business. I can't just take it for free. Really, it's fine. You just bought my shop. Consider it my way of thanking you. I'll get it. Cheng Yi saw the price list on the box. The yarn and needles totaled 15 yuan. He scanned the QR code with his phone and paid. Cheng Yi asked, Is there anything else you need to buy? Xiao Ran held the bag. No, that's all. Let's go. A few steps out of the shop, Cheng Yi looked at Xiao Ran's hair and suddenly stopped. Wait here for me. I'm going back to that shop to buy something. What is it? Is it a lot? Cheng Yi didn't say, just told her to wait there for him. Cheng Yi was quick to go and quick to return. He walked up to Xiao Ran and handed her a bag. This is for you. For me? Xiao Ran opened it and saw hair ties, hair clips, and a hairpin inside. All these items together cost less than 100 yuan. They were very cheap. The price didn't match Xiao Ran's status. They seemed a bit inexpensive. You can use these for now. When they got back to Rongqing, he would go to a luxury store and choose something proper. Thank you, I love them. Xiao Ran had left in a hurry and hadn't brought any extra hair accessories. Without a clip after washing her hair, loose strands tended to get in her eyes. It was because he saw her repeatedly pushing her hair back while eating that Cheng Yi thought of buying her hair clips. Xiao Ran took a sharp clip from the bag, gathered her hair up, and asked with her back to Cheng Yi, Does it look good? Cheng Yi looked at the dazzlingly white nape of her neck and nodded. It looks good. You look good in everything. As he spoke, he averted his gaze and changed the subject. What did you buy the yarn for? It's a secret. Soon, Cheng Yi found out what the secret was. Xiao Ran had mended the sweater for him. She held it up to show him off. What do you think? It's pretty well mended, isn't it? There was a slight color difference, so I made a small design change. I also lengthened the sleeves, so you can continue to wear it. Cheng Ye's gaze lowered slightly, and his heart contracted for the first time in a long while. He touched the texture of the fabric. How do you know how to knit? My grandma taught me. She was very good at knitting. When I was little and had nothing to do, I learned a few tricks from her. Besides sweaters, I can also knit gloves, but only basic styles. I can't do anything too complicated. This sweater brought back too many memories for Cheng Yi. He wasn't as strong as he appeared. Kindness and a soft heart were his true colors, and he was easily moved by genuine sincerity. Besides knitting, Xiao Ran knew how to do many other things. She hadn't known how to cook before, but in the few days she had been at Cheng Ye's house, she had learned from Annie Lu how to steam buns, make stew, and even master the difficult dish of fish in hot chili oil. If one paid close attention, one would notice that all the dishes she learned to cook were Cheng Ye's favorites. In addition to these, she also knew how to make dumplings. The dumplings his grandmother had left in the freezer were all gone. Xiao Ran had tasted them, memorized the flavor, and with Annie Lu assisting her, the taste was if not a perfect replica, at least an 80% match. Xiao Ran sterilized a silver coin and wrapped it inside a dumpling. Annie Lu looked on, quite puzzled, and asked her, Is there a special meaning to putting a silver coin in a dumpling? Xiao Ran explained as she wrapped. This dumpling with the silver coin is a fortune dumpling. Whoever gets it will have good luck every day. That's what my grandma used to say. Every time she made dumplings, she would put 1 or 2 inside. The fortune dumpling with the silver coin always ended up in her bowl. When she was little, she didn't understand and really thought she was just lucky. It was only when she grew up that she realized her grandmother had secretly marked it, which was why luck could always find her. And now, she was learning her grandmother's way of loving someone. Because she loved someone, she thought of him in every little thing. Cheng Yi got the dumpling with the coin, bringing him good fortune and luck. He also tasted the dumplings that were so similar to his grandmother's, rich in meaty flavor with a delicious broth. In his memory, Xiao Ran didn't know how to cook. To achieve this level, he couldn't imagine how much time and effort she had put in. Cheng Yi kept all of Xiao Ran's kindness in his heart. He carefully hung the mended sweater in his closet. If Xiao Ran made dumplings, he would go into the kitchen and cook his specialty dishes, choosing Xiao Ran's favorites and perfectly avoiding the things she disliked. Annie Lu, who was supposed to be the sous chef, was squeezed to the side with nothing to do. She could only squat by the door, peeling a few cloves of garlic and enjoying the sight of the two of them busy in the kitchen. They were truly a perfect match. If only those two could get together. I love you, you love me, just be together and that's it. Don't consider other things, don't weigh the pros and cons. Life is short. One should enjoy it while they can. Andy Liu could sense that Xiao Ran liked Changyi, and she could also sense that Changyi cared for Xiao Ran. If he didn't care, he wouldn't be so concerned about her. When would these two confess their feelings, let things take their natural course, and share tender moments under the moonlit sky? Annie Liu was more worried about them than she was about her own son's marriage. She wished she could become a matchmaker and tie them together so tightly they could never part. Although the countryside lacked many things, Changyi still managed to take good care of himself. He had learned a lot when he was taking care of Xiao Shanshan, massage, acupuncture, and food therapy. Now he was applying what he had learned to himself. A sterilized needle pierced into an acupoint. It looked painful, but as long as it was in the right spot, there was not much sensation. Xiao Ran asked with concern, "Does it hurt?" Changyi lowered his head and continued to insert the needles. "It doesn't hurt." After a while, perhaps sensing her gaze, he took a bag of candy from the table and handed it to her. "Have some candy." This was the wedding candy his grandmother had bought. She had picked the most expensive ones in the store, buying 30 or 40 caddies at once. There was so much in the cabinet that they could never finish it. Xiao Ran took the candy from him and spaced out. Time really flew by. It felt like nothing had happened, yet time was gone. If she hadn't looked at the date this morning, August 20th, she would have thought only a few days had passed. Seeing that the month was almost over, Xiao Ran felt a sense of urgency. It was the first time in her life she had fallen for someone, and she had no idea how to pursue him. All she knew was that if you like someone, you should be good to them. So she put everything she could think of into action, silently paying attention to his every move, understanding his likes and habits, offering a helping hand without hesitation when he needed it, carefully preparing every surprise. After doing so much, Changyi was still like a block of wood. If she waited for him to figure out on his own, who knows how long that would take. Xiao Ran decided to make a bold move. First, she needed to find an ally, and Annie Liu was the perfect candidate. She confessed directly to her that she liked Changyi. Auntie Liu slapped her thigh. I could tell from the very beginning. Xiao Ran rested her chin on her hand, looking dejected. If even you could tell, why can't he? Annie Liu pointed to her head. Maybe he's missing a wire up there. The one involved is lost, while the bystander sees clearly. Perhaps Changyi had misinterpreted Xiao Ran's kindness as something else. Annie Liu, I want to make a breakthrough tonight. Could you do me a favor? Annie Liu was a warm-hearted person. What favor? Could you stay at a hotel in town for one night? Annie Liu was very perceptive. Without needing much explanation, she immediately understood and accepted. She easily came up with an excuse for Changyi, saying that she had guests at home and needed to go back. Before leaving, Annie Liu made sure to remind Changyi, "Mr. Chung, I won't be here tonight. Be careful what you do, and pay attention to your leg. Know your limits, don't get hurt." Changyi didn't understand her hidden meaning and just nodded. "Okay, I will." Xiao Ran, standing nearby, also spoke up. "Annie Liu, don't worry, I'll take good care of Changyi." After she said that, Changyi finally noticed the meaningful look Annie Liu was giving him, a look that seemed to contain 1,000 words. Dinner was simple. The two of them made one stir-fry dish and heated up the leftover soup from lunch. Xiao Ran asked, "Do we have any alcohol in the house? I feel like having a drink." "There's beer." "Then let's have beer." Changyi didn't drink at home. The beer was for cooking. If he had known Xiao Ran wanted a drink, he would have bought a few bottles of good wine to keep at home. Changyi checked the date on the beer to make sure it wasn't expired before taking it out. Xiao Ran was only drinking for liquid courage, but the alcohol content of this beer was too low. She was afraid she wouldn't get drunk even if she finished the whole case. She had thought that with Annie Liu gone, the two of them could talk openly and share their feelings, but instead, they each drank their own beer in silence. Changyi suggested, "Should we eat outside? There's a breeze tonight." "Okay." Once outside, Xiao Ran finally opened up the conversation. "Changyi, what kind of girlfriend will you look for in the future?" Changyi was taken aback. Why was she suddenly asking this? In front of his boss, Changyi was used to answering her questions obediently. Someone whose values align with mine, who can show clear affection and sincere liking, and with whom I can feel comfortable and secure. Is that all? Maybe there aren't that many criteria for love. When you truly meet the person you like, perhaps it only takes a second to know that she's different from everyone else. If the person you like is in Rongqing, would you go to Rongqing with her? Yes. The conditions in the countryside are not good. I can't ask her to dig dirt with me here instead of going to Rongqing. Can I? Love shouldn't be a chain that binds her. Changyi smiled. My understanding of love is that details are a two-way street. Love is mutual. It's about mutual accommodation, mutual attraction, and moving towards each other. As he said this, Cheng Ye's gaze shifted from the moon in the sky to Xiao Ran. Xiao Ran swirled the beer bottle. My thoughts are similar to yours. I also believe that a relationship should be about mutual attraction and being on the same page with similar values. Cheng Yi asked, if you had to choose between your future and a man, what would you choose? He believed that with Xiao Ran's personality, she would undoubtedly choose her future without hesitation. Only children make choices. Xiao Ran took a sip of beer and said, my future and a man. I want a man who stand within my future. She was rich and powerful. Was she going to lose her future just by being in a relationship? In terms of family background, very few in all of Rongqing could compare to her. In terms of wealth, she was on the rich list. All she was looking for was a man who was to her liking. To her, love was just the icing on the cake. Even if Cheng Yi rejected her, she could still thrive on her own. Xiao Ran asked, you said you want to meet someone you feel comfortable and secure with. So what do you think of me? Do our values align? Cheng Yi was momentarily lost, caught off guard as he looked into Xiao Ran's eyes. The moment their gazes met, both of them froze for a second. Her eyes were bright, like the moon in the sky. The difference was, the moon was in the sky, while Xiao Ran was right in front of him. An inappropriate thought popped into Cheng Ye's mind. Eye contact is the spiritual kiss of humanity, devoid of desire. Cheng Ye's hand trembled, and the beer in his glass sloshed out, spilling all over his hand. Before he could react, Xiao Ran was already wiping his hand with a tissue. I'll do it myself. He tried to pull his hand back, but couldn't. Though Xiao Ran's hands were small, she was strong. She gripped his fingers, assertively wiping them clean one by one. The tissue brushed across his palm like a feather, passing through the gaps between his fingers. It was such a simple act, yet it threw him into a state of turmoil. They are all clean. Xiao Ran looked up and gave him an innocent smile, as if nothing had happened. And indeed, nothing had. The disarray he felt in his heart just now seemed like a hallucination. Did you know? There's an AI software now that can determine what your ideal type looks like. Xiao Ran changed the subject quickly but smoothly, making him unconsciously follow her rhythm. Is it really that magical? Xiao Ran took out her phone, opened an app, and handed it to Cheng Yi. If you complete these 52 multiple-choice questions, it will automatically generate an AI image based on your choices, determining what kind of looks and personality you like in a girl. I think it's quite accurate. Do you want to try? After speaking, Xiao Ran looked at him with anticipation. Cheng Yi took the phone. They were all very simple multiple-choice questions. As he answered them, he thought, even if the test works, what's the point? Could you really meet someone like that in real life? He quickly finished the 52 questions and handed the phone back to Xiao Ran. I'm done. What's next? Xiao Ran took it and tapped the screen a few times. Click next to generate, then wait a few minutes. During the wait, the atmosphere became subtle. Cheng Yi felt a flicker of curiosity and couldn't help but ask, have you done this test too? Xiao Ran chuckled lightly. I have, and I even met him in real life. You actually met him? Did you get to know him to see if he was your type? Was he much different from what you expected? Cheng Yi asked several questions in a row. He was puzzled. After all, he had known Xiao Ran for so long and had never seen her be intimate with any man. A smile flashed in Xiao Ran's eyes, and she said meaningfully, you're that concerned about me? Cheng Yi wanted to explain, but it felt as if a ball of air was trapped in his chest, leaving him speechless. Xiao Ran answered his questions one by one. Meeting him was my good luck. I'd get to know him, and he's completely my type, both in terms of looks and... The phone suddenly beeped twice, interrupting Xiao Ran. She picked it up and tapped the screen. The results are in. Let's see what the girl you like looks like. It was just a test, but from the way Xiao Ran spoke, it was as if he really did have someone he liked. What does she look like? Xiao Ran's expression froze. Her gaze slowly moved from the phone to Cheng Ye's face. She stared at him for a few seconds, then her lips curved into a smile, and she silently handed the phone to him. Looking at the familiar face in the photo, Cheng Yi was too shocked to speak. Cheng Yi, so it turns out the person you like is me. Cheng Yi stared blankly at the AI photo on the screen. It wasn't just similar, it was a perfect match. The photo had appeared without any warning, and Xiao Ran's words, Cheng Yi, so it turns out the person you like is me, hit his heart like a stone, sending ripples through him. His chest rose and fell, expanding until it hurt, feeling tight and flustered. Xiao Ran let out a soft laugh, watching him with composure. Speaking of which, our personalities are quite compatible. We complement each other. You understand my temper, and I know your struggles. Seeing Chung Yi remain silent, Xiao Ran frowned. Judging by your expression, is liking me such a shameful thing? She touched her face. Although I'm 3 years older than you, I should be well-maintained, right? My looks might not be devastatingly beautiful, but they're 1 in a million, wouldn't you say? Xiao Ran was quite confident in her appearance. Ever since she was young, countless people had given her love letters and confessed to her, including girls. With a face that captivated both men and women, she refused to believe that Chung Ye's eyes were empty when he looked at her. Chung Yi quickly responded, "That's not it." He just didn't know how to react. He started to think back on the 52 choices he had made. Could it be that subconsciously, he really had developed special feelings for Xiao Ran? This was too absurd. Who was Xiao Ran? She was his boss, his ex-girlfriend's older sister, almost his sister-in-law. Leaving everything else aside, just based on that last relationship, he couldn't have feelings for her. Who made the software? Did you grant it some permissions, like accessing your photo album? It wasn't impossible for it to analyze a person's preferences through photos in their album. Are you questioning the authenticity of this software? Shouldn't he question it? But I think it's quite accurate. Let me show you the photo from my test, and you'll understand. Xiao Ran went into the app's history, found the photo, and held it up in front of Chung Yi. Chung Yi glanced at it, and his breath hitched. The photo on the phone was, unmistakably, of himself. Chung Yi, my ideal type is you. The person I admire is you. The person I like is you. Everything from your looks and height to your personality and abilities is spot on. It felt like the two halves of his brain had turned into a pair of cymbals, clashing and ringing in his ears. He suspected he was drunk from the beer. Otherwise, how could he be hearing something so ridiculous? CEO Qiao, are you drunk? He had even reverted to calling her CEO Qiao. It seemed he was truly spooked. Xiao Ran had expected this reaction from him. She knew the first step would be difficult, but just because it was difficult didn't mean she shouldn't take it. A little beer won't get me drunk. I know exactly what I'm saying and what I'm doing. Chung Yi, I like you. I take care of you because I like you. My kindness towards you has never been out of guilt, but because I wanted to spend more time with you, hoping you'd grow to love me over time. You've known me for so many years. Have you ever seen me cook or mend clothes for another man? Have you ever seen me drop my work for anyone? To me, time is the most precious thing. I'm willing to spend my time on you. Can't you feel my affection for you? A poor man's money, a rich person's time, a coward's courage, a playboy's one and only. I'm a little dizzy and tired. I'm going back to my room now. Chung Yi stood up abruptly, even forgetting his crutch. Xiao Ran knew that things couldn't be rushed. She had to take it step by step. First, let Chung Yi see love, feel love, believe in love, and finally, be able to touch love. These 4 steps couldn't be out of order. If a person first tried to believe in love, they would inevitably doubt it later. Feeling love was the process of mutual adjustment and changing for love. She had to give Chung Yi time to slowly feel it. Xiao Ran's confession, far from bringing Chung Yi closer, actually made him retreat further away. The next day, when Auntie Lu returned, she secretly observed the changes in the house. Seeing the beer bottles in the trash, she thought the two had gotten together. Just as she was feeling happy, she saw Xiao Ran walk out of her room with a dejected look. Auntie Lu asked, "Miss Xiao, did things work out with Mr. Chung last night?" Xiao Ran shook her head. "He's avoiding me. Maybe he just can't accept the change so quickly. It's okay. For someone as beautiful and gentle as you, pursuing him is like piercing through a thin veil. Just persist for a couple of days and let him get used to this change." "But I don't know how to pursue him." Auntie Lu patted her hand and said, "First, let him notice your change. Let him know you're different from others. Let him know your feelings for him are genuine. Let him feel and get used to your presence. You can't be too good to him, but you can't be bad to him either. There needs to be a balance. You can act like you love him very much, but you can't act like you're afraid of losing him. Magnify your value and make him unable to leave you. Appropriately treat him as a tool to get him to invest time, energy, and money in you. Seize the initiative. Be passionate in your words, but dignified in your actions. Maintain an air of mystery while showing your multifaceted personality. Create coincidences and chance encounters to make him think it's fate." After listening, Xiao Ran had a moment of enlightenment, but also felt lost. Auntie Lu continued, "Love is a difficult problem. In the end, it's better to do it in a way you like. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. In my opinion, you're already doing great. Being together isn't the goal. Being happy is. While you like someone else, like yourself more too." Xiao Ran gave a relaxed smile. "I understand. Thank you, Auntie Lu." Few people in her life had ever said these things to her. Perhaps everyone assumed she was capable of anything and didn't need advice. When Cheng Yi came out of his room, he saw Annie Lu and Xiao Ran chatting in the courtyard. Hearing the noise behind them, both Xiao Ran and Annie Lu turned their heads at the same time. Annie Lu stood up and headed for the kitchen. "I'll go check on the porridge I'm cooking." As she left, only the two of them remained. It was obvious to anyone that Annie Lu was trying to create an opportunity for them. Xiao Ran spoke first. "Did you sleep well last night?" Cheng Yi hadn't slept at all. Before he could answer, Xiao Ran cut in. "But didn't sleep last night, did you?" Cheng Yi's eyes seemed to ask, "How did you know?" Xiao Ran said, "Because you were running in my dreams all night." So it was a cheesy pickup line. Cheng Yi couldn't help but smile. As if she had unlocked a new skill, Xiao Ran would blurt out a cheesy pickup line from time to time after that. "This is a tissue, this is a towel. And for you, I have an irresistible feeling. This is beer. This is Baijiu. I want to be with you forever. It's so hot. I feel like I'm getting heat stroke. I need a kiss to cool down. Today's food seems too salty. I'm so bored, a pun on salty and bored in Chinese. Always thinking of you when I have nothing to do. Cheng Yi, aren't you tired? You've been running through my mind all day. I thought my feelings would fade over time, but it turns out I like you even more today than I did yesterday." Cheng Yi had wanted to talk to her, to ask her to stop. But before he could, Xiao Ran said, "Besides being in a relationship, I have nothing to talk to you about." Cheng Yi. He had no idea where she found so many cheesy pickup lines. August 25th was Cheng Yi's birthday. Annie Lu made a bowl of longevity noodles, and Xiao Ran went to town, found a bakery, and paid for a lesson to make a cake by hand. Such a day naturally couldn't go by without paying respects to his grandmother. Cheng Yi placed a bowl of noodles and a piece of cake in front of his grandmother's grave, lit some incense, and burned paper money. 1,000 words ultimately converged into one sentence. "Grandma, I'm doing very well." After the smoke dissipated and the paper money turned to ash, Cheng Yi cleaned up the fire pit, making sure it was completely extinguished before he left. Xiao Ran had come with him. At that moment, she was standing by the roadside, looking up at a tree. "What are you looking at?" Xiao Ran pointed and said, "It looks like there's mistletoe growing on that tree." Cheng Yi followed her finger and saw a green sprout on the tree, with white particles on it, which could be either flowers or fruit. "What's mistletoe?" "It belongs to the parasitic family," Xiao Ran explained. "It's a plant that can make enemies kiss. According to Western legend, kissing under the mistletoe can ward off evil and bring good fortune." As she said this, Xiao Ran shifted her gaze to Cheng Yi's face. "Western matters don't concern us Easterners. I was just curious why there's mistletoe this season. I didn't see it when I was here before." Cheng Yi was not calm. When he heard Xiao Ran's words, a vulgar thought subconsciously arose in his mind. He wanted to use the mistletoe as an excuse to kiss her, but once he made that decision, there was no turning back. Cheng Yi had too many concerns. He could feel that Xiao Ran liked him, but how long could like last? In the face of benefits, so-called liking was worthless. If Xiao Ran were just an ordinary person, it would be fine. But she was the CEO of the Qiao Corporation, his ex-girlfriend's older sister. Someone like Xiao Ran was watched by countless people every day, just waiting for her to make a mistake so that they could take the opportunity to bring her down. If the two of them were together, they would have to face not only outside gossip, but also the reactions and opinions of those around them. He had nothing much to lose, but Xiao Ran was different. Besides him, she had many important things in her life. Her company, her reputation, her power, her parents. He could be reckless, but he couldn't let a wonderful person get hurt because of him. That day, Annie Lu found another excuse to leave. At night, only he and Xiao Ran were left. He had intended to have a serious talk with her, but couldn't find the right moment. Just as he was about to speak, Xiao Ran said she was going to take a shower. Cheng Yi lit a mosquito coil in the courtyard and waited for her, enjoying the night breeze. Suddenly, Xiao Ran let out a loud scream from inside. Cheng Yi thought she had fallen and reflexively stood up and rushed over. "Xiao Ran, what happened? Are you all right?" The door suddenly opened, and Xiao Ran, wrapped in a bath towel, threw herself into his arms. Her slender arms clung tightly around his neck, and her fair skin was still dotted with water droplets. Her face was pale with fear as she burrowed into his embrace. If it weren't for her concern about his leg not being fully healed, she probably would have jumped onto him. Cheng Yi's attention was not on her body at all. He was just trying to calm her down. "Cheng Yi, there's a gecko on the wall." Cheng Yi scanned the room, but couldn't see the gecko Xiao Ran was talking about. "I don't see it. It probably crawled away." "No, it's on the wall. Look again carefully, then let go of me first." No, I'm scared. She acted cute in his arms. That's how it was in the countryside. In summer, all sorts of little animals would visit the house. Geckos, spiders, toads, centipedes, you name it. I can't move like this. Xiaoran glanced at his injured leg and slowly let go. Where's your crutch? I forgot it. Cheng Ye's leg was actually fine for normal walking. He just usually used the crutch to take the weight off his right leg and ease the pain. Don't be afraid. Geckos don't bite. Cheng Yi finally found the gecko in the crack of the door. It was a very small one, and he caught it with his bare hands. Geckos are beneficial insects, so Cheng Yi didn't kill it, but threw it outside. Only after dealing with the gecko did he realize how intimate the situation with Xiao Ran had just been. She was practically naked against him, and his chest was wet from where she had leaned on him. Both of them looked away awkwardly, especially Cheng Yi, who felt flustered all over. His face turned red, and he was so nervous he couldn't speak. His heart was beating so fast it made his chest feel tight. At that moment, Cheng Yi truly realized how much of an impact Xiao Ran had on him. These feelings were something he had never experienced before. She could throw his mind into chaos and make him unlike himself. In front of her, he was like a clumsy young boy. His impression of Xiao Ran used to be boss, cold boss, Xiao Shanshan's sister. But now it was woman, a beautiful, sexy, and fatally attractive woman. You should go in and get dressed. Cheng Yi turned around. I'll wait for you in the courtyard. Okay. The bathroom door slowly closed. When the light went out, Cheng Yi let out a deep breath and pressed his hand hard against his heart, trying to force it back to its normal rhythm and stop it from pounding out of his chest. Xiao Ran dressed quickly. Before Cheng Yi could leave, she opened the door and came out, wearing a light blue nightgown whose hem swayed as she walked. Xiao Ran asked with a smile, What did you want to talk to me about? I'm going to Rongqing tomorrow. I could take you back on the way. Xiao Ran's smile vanished instantly. And after you take me back? Cheng Yi said, After I take you back, I'm planning to move. Xiao Ran's voice was a little urgent. You know that's not what I'm asking. Cheng Yi said seriously, Xiao Ran, in my heart, you're the boss, and I am the employee. Even if I no longer work for your company, even if I call you by your name now, you will always be that high and mighty boss. This understanding of our roles will never change. You don't like me? Xiao Ran's voice was heavy. Cheng Yi, look me in the eye right now and answer me properly. Do you not like me? Or are you afraid to like me? Cheng Yi met her gaze, looking into her watery pupils. I don't like you. Xiao Ran's voice trembled as she asked. After all this time we've spent together, not even once? Not even a single moment of fluttering heart. I only have respect and gratitude for you. I can tell the difference between being moved and being in love. An indescribable pain suddenly spread through him. He looked at Xiao Ran's reddening eyes and felt as if the blood in his veins had turned into countless insects, tearing and fighting inside him, as if trying to devour all his organs, especially the heart in his chest. Understand? Xiao Ran tilted her head and smiled, but her expression was uglier than if she were crying. If that's your answer, then I respect it. Being together isn't the end goal. Being happy is. It's getting late. I'll go back to my room to pack. Good night. Every night, Xiao Ran would say good night to Cheng Yi. Sometimes it was gentle, sometimes playful, sometimes coquettish, but never as calmly repressed as tonight. She turned around, the hem of her dress creating an arc in the air, and walked into her room without looking back. The next morning, Xiao Ran woke up unusually late. She hadn't slept all night. The rooms here weren't soundproof, and she could clearly hear the sound from outside. While feeding the chickens, Annie Lu asked, Why isn't Miss Xiao up yet today? Could she be sick? Cheng Yi said, It's fine. Let her sleep a little longer. If she's not up by 8:30, you can knock on her door and check on her. Annie Lu agreed and saw Cheng Yi heading out. Mister, Cheng, where are you going? I'm just going for a walk. Don't worry about me. Not long after Cheng Yi left, Xiao Ran came out of her room. Miss Xiao, we're having pumpkin porridge, pumpkin steamed buns, and steamed dumplings for breakfast. At first, Annie Lu didn't notice anything unusual about Xiao Ran. She greeted her as warmly as usual, and, while Xiao Ran was washing up, placed the porridge, buns, dumplings, and pickles on the dining table. Xiao Ran sat down and picked up the bowl of pumpkin porridge. The porridge was sweet, and so were the buns, but in her mouth, they tasted bitter, astringent, and dry. The soft rice mix with the bun felt like concrete sealing her throat. She couldn't swallow no matter how hard she tried. Her vision blurred without her realizing it. Her hand holding the chopsticks was white-knuckled from the force of her grip. It took a great deal of effort for Xiao Ran to hold back her sobs. With her head down, tears streamed uncontrollably, falling like raindrops from the eaves into her porridge. A bowl of porridge mixed with tears, a steamed bun filled with tears. She stuffed them into her mouth in large bites. Her stomach churned painfully. She closed her eyes, the lump in her throat growing harder and harder until it hurt. A hand gently patted her from behind. She looked up to see Auntie Lu looking at her with concern. "If you can't eat, then don't." Xiao Ran cried silently, with only a faint sob escaping from her nose. "He said he doesn't like me." Auntie Lu hugged her. "Miss Xiao, you are an excellent and wonderful person. So, whoever leaves you, it's not your loss." A woman becomes brave in front of the man she likes, while a man becomes timid. Perhaps it's not that he doesn't like you, but that he's afraid to like you. But even the greatest courage has its limits. She was not all-powerful. She was also afraid of failure, afraid of rejection. Cheng Ye's rejection had already made her cautious. She really didn't know what to do. Relationships were just too difficult. Liking someone was just too tiring. After lunch, Cheng Yi called for a car. Xiao Ran didn't have much luggage. She had arrived with one suitcase and was leaving with one suitcase. As she left, she gently closed the door and looked around from the loquat tree by the entrance to the decorations inside. Every blade of grass, every brick and wall. She gazed at the mountain in the distance, then called to Huang over. Xiao Ran stroked his head and whispered to him, "What a pity I can't be your mom. Your dad doesn't like me." A sour feeling rose in her nose. She tilted her head up and forced herself to swallow it back down. "Auntie Lu, I'm leaving now. I'll come back to see you when I have time." She probably wouldn't come here again. Auntie Lu's eyes reddened. She handed Xiao Ran a jar she had prepared, filled with homemade pickles and some meat sauce. "Take this back with you. When you finish it, give me a call, and I'll make more and mail it to you." Xiao Ran accepted it. "Okay." Just as the car was about to start, Auntie Lu pulled Cheng Yi aside. "Mr. Cheng," Miss Xiao cried this morning. "She cried for a long time while you were gone. I didn't want to say anything, but I'm really afraid you'll miss out on her. She's so wonderful, and she loves you so much. Why are you hesitating? Is it because she's your ex-girlfriend's sister? Are you afraid of being gossiped about if you get together with her? But you have to understand, no matter how you live your life in this world, there will always be people who talk. We only live once. We should eat the food we want to eat, see the people we want to see, love the person we love most, see the scenery we like, and do the things we enjoy." She refused to believe that Cheng Yi had no feelings for Xiao Ran. If he didn't like her, how could he remember all her preferences? If he didn't like her, why would he wash her dress? If he didn't like her, why would he have a sleepless night after rejecting her? His eyes were bloodshot. Cheng Yi clenched his fist silently. He listened as Auntie Lu continued. "Mr. Cheng, if Miss Xiao leaves this time, and you never see her again, will you have regrets? Will it hurt?" Seeing Auntie Lu's sad expression, Cheng Ye's heart contracted uncontrollably. The midday wind on his face was hot, as if he were standing by a bonfire. The wind made his eyes ache. If a relationship had to end, it should be a clean break. An ambiguous end would only be a second injury to her. Since he had rejected Xiao Ran, he couldn't give her any hope. Cheng Yi had bought the plane tickets back to Rongqing. He bought a first-class ticket for Xiao Ran and just a regular economy ticket for himself. Even though it was the same flight, the same plane, and the tickets were bought together, after boarding, they were like strangers, unable to even see each other. Xiao Ran looked at the ticket in her hand and couldn't help but smile bitterly. Did Cheng Yi really need to avoid her this much? She only liked him. It wasn't like she was a murderer. She said nothing, just clutched the ticket and went to the first-class boarding gate. When they deplaned, they ran into each other after all. Xiao Ran's face was grim. "Are you going straight home?" "Yes. My driver is here. You can take my car. I'll give you a ride." Cheng Yi politely refused. "No, thank you. We're not going the same way. There are plenty of taxis here. I'll just get one." He rejected her so thoroughly that Xiao Ran didn't know what else to say. She pulled her suitcase and left. Cheng Yi stood behind her, watching her figure grow smaller and smaller. It was as if two people were inside him, one desperately trying to push her away, the other desperately trying to hold her back. Cheng Yi rubbed his temples. Leaning on his crutch, he hailed a cab back to his rented apartment. Having been away for nearly a month, the room was covered in dust. Cheng Yi started cleaning, tidying up the things he needed to pack while he cleaned. With his leg being inconvenient, he walked slowly, wiped slowly, and packed slowly. He filled his time to the brim, leaving no room to think about anything else. But no matter how busy he was, Xiao Ran's image would appear in his mind during moments of distraction. So this is how terrifying habit can be. He suddenly stood up tiredly and leaned against the bookshelf. Lacking control, the bookshelf swayed, and a book from the top shelf fell in front of him. He bent down to pick it up and casually flipped to a page. What is the most agonizing moment in life? is not hitting rock bottom, but being stuck in a crevice between change and staying the same, afraid to take a step. You clearly long for change, yet you have trapped yourself in a cage of what-ifs and just-in-cases. You hold an old map, but cannot find the road to tomorrow. When heaven wants to place the best gift in your arms, it will always make you empty your hands first. Will you regret it if you can't see her again? Auntie Lou's words echoed in his mind. That evening, he bought dumpling wrappers and meat filling to make dumplings. The same ingredients, the same cooking method, but the taste was always a little off. Changyi subconsciously rummaged through the pile of dumplings, trying to find one with the coin inside. After searching for a moment, he came to his senses. No one had put a coin in the dumplings. He didn't need to eat carefully, didn't need to search one by one. Changyi disliked moving. He had been living here ever since he graduated for 4 years straight. For the first time, he felt that this room was so large. It was quiet at night, yet he couldn't fall asleep. He opened the window. There were no crickets, no croaking frogs, only the clamor of human voices. He watched the lights across the way flicker on and off. One light stayed on from night until dawn, never going out. Could that light have been left on by a wife waiting for her husband to come home? The noisier it was outside, the more lonely Changyi felt. The night was like a fierce beast, slowly devouring him. When he couldn't see Qiao Ran, he thought about her every moment. He wondered what she was doing at that time. Was she working overtime? Or had she already gone to sleep? Was she eating on time? Was she taking care of herself? A text message notification came through on his phone. What he saw was just a promotional ad. Changyi's eyes filled with disappointment. Would he really never see her again? With this question in mind, Changyi drifted off to sleep. In his dream, he saw Qiao Ran. She was looking at him with a wronged expression, accusing him. Above her head was a sprig of mistletoe. Remembering the legend, he leaned in and kissed her lips. If even enemies could kiss, then why couldn't they? Changyi woke up with a start, drenched in a cold sweat. He picked up his phone and scrolled through his chat history with Qiao Ran. Qiao Ran, liking you is a troublesome thing, but I just happen to enjoy making trouble for myself. Qiao Ran, will you be my boyfriend today? If you say no, I'll just ask again tomorrow. The chat history ended abruptly. He liked Qiao Ran more than he had ever imagined. The heart always exists beyond reason. Liking her was an easy thing to do. Changyi thought that after dreaming of her once, he wouldn't dream of her again. But to his surprise, he dreamt of her more and more, and the scenes became more and more vivid. In his dreams, he had no control. He did the things he wanted to do, but didn't dare. They kissed under the mistletoe and did all sorts of outrageous things in the room. Longing clung to him like a leech, and a huge emptiness enveloped him. He took a piece of candy from his pocket. For in the morning was very quiet. At 5, the sky began to lighten. At 6, the sun rose, and Changyi had once again spent a sleepless night. August 30th. This was the first time Changyi had gone out to a mall to buy something since returning to Rongqing. He went to a jewelry store, where a salesperson greeted him warmly. She saw him staring at a row of necklaces. "Sir, are you planning to buy a necklace for your girlfriend?" "Not a girlfriend." The salesperson paused for a moment, then continued to smile. "Then who are you buying it for? A friend or a family member?" "For the person I like," Changyi murmured, his voice so soft that the salesperson standing in front of him could barely hear. "You want to buy her a necklace?" "Yes." Changyi nodded. "There are so many styles. Do you know what she likes?" Qiao Ran rarely wore jewelry. The jewelry she wore to events was chosen by designers to match her outfits. She never expressed whether she liked them or not. "Could you recommend a set for me?" "She has fair skin, a long and slender neck, a small, oval face, and she's very beautiful. She likes to wear blue dresses. For work, she usually wears a standard white blouse. She likes to put her hair up, and her makeup is very light." Listening to his description, the salesperson could already picture her. She took out necklaces of different price ranges, from a few thousand to several hundred thousand. Changyi decided to buy a whole set: necklace, earrings, bracelet. He also chose some hair accessories. The total came to nearly 2 million. Changyi paid with his card and left the store amidst the salesperson's enthusiastic, "Please come again." How should he give them to her? Should he call her secretary directly and have them delivered? Would that be rude? Or should he mail them to her home? She probably wouldn't accept them without being told beforehand. After thinking it over, he decided it was better to be direct. He would just call her and ask her out to dinner and give her the jewelry then. He looked at the time. It was almost 5 o'clock. She would be getting off work soon. He was about to call Qiao Ran to ask about her schedule. Just as he was about to dial, he saw a familiar car parked on the side of the road. At first, he thought he was mistaken but then he looked at the license plate. The next second, the car door opened, and Xiao Ran stepped out. Seeing him, Xiao Ran seemed just as surprised. What a coincidence, seeing you here. What are you doing here? She glanced at the bag in Cheng Ye's hand. Buying jewelry? Who is it for? Cheng Yi walked towards her and handed her the bag. It's for you. Xiao Ran didn't take it, but asked, Why are you giving this to me? You've helped me a lot. This is a thank you gift. I didn't know what you'd like, so I had the salesperson help me choose. See if you like it. Xiao Ran took the bag. Jewelry from this brand was not cheap. Just by looking at the diamonds on it, she knew it wouldn't be less than 7 figures. Xiao Ran happened to be wearing a blue dress that day. She took a hairpin from the bag and put her hair up in front of him, revealing the delicate nape of her neck. Then she took out the necklace. Could you help me put this on? I want to try it on first. Cheng Yi took the necklace. His fingers trembled with nervousness. He carefully fastened the clasp. The necklace was just as he had imagined. It looked beautiful on Xiao Ran. Cheng Yi stood behind her. From the back, it looked as if he was holding her in his arms. There was a distance between them, yet Xiao Ran could clearly feel the warmth of his body, his scent, and the tingling sensation where his fingertips touched her neck. Cheng Yi lowered his hands. Done. Xiao Ran touched the necklace on her neck. It's beautiful. Thank you, I love it. And she took out the bracelet and held out her hand. While you're at it, help me with the bracelet too. Cheng Yi was always focused and meticulous in everything he did. That was when he was most charming. Seeing his hand shake, Xiao Ran asked, Cheng Yi, are you nervous? I'm not nervous. Then why is your hand shaking? Cheng Yi hadn't expected Xiao Ran to be so direct. He tried to control it, but the more he tried, the more his hand shook. I've been moving house these past few days. My hand is a little sore. I see. The gems on the bracelet sparkled even without light. Xiao Ran touched the gems. Since you're thanking me, it wouldn't be too much to ask for you to treat me to a meal, right? Cheng Yi asked, What do you want to eat? Let's just go somewhere near your place. I want to try a restaurant you often go to. The places I live near all street food stalls. Street food is the best. I used to eat it a lot when I was in school. Xiao Ran didn't give Cheng Yi a chance to react and opened the car door. Get in. You can give me directions. Cheng Yi got into the passenger seat. It was still a bit of a drive from here to his place, and with the evening rush hour traffic, a 40-minute journey was stretched to an hour. Cheng Yi was also thinking about what he should treat Xiao Ran to. Something like hot pot was out. It was too hot now, and it could make a girl's makeup run, plus the smell would linger on their clothes. Based on his knowledge of her tastes, she probably preferred lighter food. He'd choose Cantonese cuisine. What are you thinking about? Thinking about what to treat you to later. Just eat what you want to eat. You don't have to guess what I want. Don't you usually eat Yinbang cuisine? Let's just find a Yinbang restaurant. Xiao Ran asked. There should be one near your place, right? There is, but it's a bit spicy. Can you handle it? Xiao Ran looked straight ahead. Sure, I like spicy food. Along the way, Cheng Yi found himself unconsciously watching Xiao Ran, glancing at the bracelet on her wrist, looking at the blue dress she was wearing. The gloomy mood that had hung over him for days suddenly lifted, and the ache in his chest subsided. He liked looking at Xiao Ran, liked seeing her smile, liked hearing her say his name. When they arrived, they got out of the car. The restaurant was already full inside, so they had to sit outside. Brother, sister, what would you like to eat? Here's the menu. Cheng Yi handed the menu to Xiao Ran. You order. Xiao Ran flipped through it, ordered a signature dish, and then pushed the menu back to him. I don't know what's good. You choose the rest. Cheng Yi ticked off 3 dishes and a soup on the menu. That's it. He handed the order to the waitress. Perhaps because she saw him with a crutch, the waitress was very attentive, bringing them tea and water, and even dishing out rice for them. Xiao Ran rested her chin on her hand and chatted with her. You look very young. You must still be in school, right? The young girl said shyly. Yes. I'm working here for the summer. Cheng Yi pointed to the QR code on the table and asked, Is this for payment? Yes. Cheng Yi scanned the code. How much is it? The girl told him the amount. Cheng Yi paid. All right, the payment has gone through. You can go take a rest. We can handle the rest ourselves. Yinbang cuisine was served quickly. Xiao Ran looked at the fiery red dishes in front of her, picked up a piece of beef, and put it in her mouth. The spicy flavor instantly filled her mouth from the tip of her tongue, making her mouth water. The beef was tender and delicious, but in her opinion, it couldn't compare to Cheng Ye's cooking. Cheng Ye asked, Is it good? Xiao Ran nodded. The meal was very quiet. Neither of them spoke. Only the clinking of chopsticks and the sound of chewing could be heard. Xiao Ran had a small appetite and couldn't eat much. She tasted every dish and was half full after half a bowl of soup. Normally, she would have put down her chopsticks, but now, thinking that this might be her last meal with Cheng Yi, She deliberately slowed down and forced herself to eat a lot, so much that her stomach started to hurt at the end. Spiciness is not a taste, but a sensation of pain. Her mouth was in pain, so much so that tears were about to fall. She took a tissue to wipe the corner of her eye and fanned her face with her hand, looking into the distance. This food is really spicy. It's making my eyes water. In reality, Changyi had specifically asked for these dishes to be made mild. Seeing Xiao Ran sniffle, Changyi reached over, took the cup in front of her, and poured her a glass of water. If it's too spicy, just eat less. It's spicy, but it's delicious. I can't stop once I start. Xiao Ran remembered a question she had asked her grandmother when she was a child. Grandma, what is love? Her grandmother thought for a moment and said, love is being happy when you eat with someone you like. So, for Xiao Ran, eating happily with the person she liked was very important. Xiao Ran put down her chopsticks and said, Changyi, my loving you has nothing to do with you. This is my own business. You don't have to feel guilty and avoid me just because you rejected me. To me, meeting you is a particularly lucky thing. You helped me become a better version of myself. If you ever run into difficulties in the future, you can always come to me. Finally, I wish you a bright future. She said it all frankly, then took a letter out of her bag and placed it in front of Changyi. I have a lot I want to say to you, but I don't know how to start, so I wrote it all down. Xiao Ran was afraid that she would start crying before she could even get the words out, which would be too embarrassing. Changyi held the envelope. Xiao Ran stood up and said, don't open it now. Wait until I've left, then you can read it. Changyi didn't understand why Xiao Ran liked him. He wasn't as good as she said. Their status, family background, and wealth were so mismatched. He could find 100 reasons why they were unsuitable. Xiao Ran left without looking back. She was beautiful, like a fairy in a fireworks display. As she walked past, many people stole glances at her. Changyi subconsciously raised his hand, wanting to grab her. The wind slipped through his palm, and he clenched his fist and pulled it back. She was so wonderful, she deserved someone better. As soon as Xiao Ran left, Changyi's mind was filled with her image. Her reddened eyes, her departing figure, the arc of her dress, the strands of her hair blown by the wind. The pain he had suppressed surged back, even more intensely than before. He protected the letter in his hand. After Xiao Ran left, he carefully opened the envelope. There was only one page inside. Changyi, in the days I haven't been by your side, have you thought of me? Did you want to hear my voice? When the phone rang or a message came, did you hope it was me? Have you lost sleep because of me? If this is our final parting and we never see each other again, will your heart ache? Will you feel regret? If one day I love someone else the way I loved you, marry him, and have children, will you be so jealous you'd want to snatch me away? Changyi, are you afraid that I might be wronged in a place where you can't see me? Are you afraid that I might suddenly disappear without a trace? Are you afraid that I might get hurt and have no one to care for me? Are you afraid that someone might bully me? If it were the end of the world right now, who would be the person you'd most want to see? Would it be me? The letter was stained with tear marks. Xiao Ran must have been crying when she wrote it. What seemed like a shallow stream of affection was, for those who truly waded in, a river deep enough to drown a person. His vision blurred. The paper trembled in his hand. From behind him came the voices of a man and a woman. I don't understand. Why can't two people who love each other be together? There must be a reason. What reason? It's not like they're murderers or cheaters. Some men are just so self-righteous. They use the excuse, I'm doing this for your own good, to disregard the other person's feelings. Because it's for your own good, I can impose my will on you. Because it's for your own good, I can dictate your life and tie your hands. When will they understand that for something to be good for her, she has to feel that it's good? They clearly like her so much, but still push her away. I really want to slap them. Don't be angry, let's eat. A cell phone rang. Hello. The woman answered the phone. A car accident? Where? At the intersection right here. Oh my God, are you hurt? Changyi shot up and ran out like a gust of wind, so fast and frantic that he forgot his crutch. Xiao Ran's voice echoed in his ears, along with the words of the couple behind him. There was a car accident at the intersection. Changyi had post-traumatic stress disorder, which caused him to have heart palpitations and break out in a cold sweat whenever he heard the words car accident. Xiao Ran had been gone for a while, so it was unlikely she would be there. But what if? Just the thought of something happening to Xiao Ran made his vision go black. His limbs felt weak, and he was drenched in a cold sweat. He ran with stumbling steps to the intersection. The accident scene he had imagined wasn't there. He looked around and saw Xiao Ran's car parked by the side of the road. Changyi whipped his head around and saw Xiao Ran walking out of a flower shop with a bouquet of flowers. She stared at him, seemingly confused as to why he was there. Why are you? Before she could finish her sentence, Changyi pulled her into a fierce embrace. Changyi held her as if she were a long-lost treasure, his body and mind filled with immense satisfaction. He held her tightly, wanting to forcefully embed her into his body, so their flesh and bone would connect, their blood and souls would merge, never to be separated again. Xiao Ran froze for 2 seconds, then raised a hand to hug him back. In the night, under the lights, they embraced as if no one else was there. Xiao Ran asked, "Why did you come looking for me? I heard there was a car accident here." Changyi held her and looked around, but he didn't see any sign of an accident. "A bicycle going the wrong way hit an electric scooter," Xiao Ran replied, then poked his heart with her fingertip and asked, "So, you came running over in such a hurry because you were worried about me? You were afraid something happened to me?" "Yes." Changyi didn't hesitate, pulling Xiao Ran completely into his embrace. He rested his chin on the top of her head and said clearly, word by word, "I was worried something would happen to you. I was afraid you'd get hurt. I finished reading that letter, and I'll answer your question now. When you're not by my side, I think of you every day. My dreams are full of you. I want to hear your voice, want to hear you say my name, and whisper sweet nothings to me. When the phone rings, I hope it's you. I expect it to be you. For as many days as we were apart, I suffered from insomnia. In countless sleepless hours, I thought about how good you are. Just the thought of you marrying and having children with another man makes me jealous to the point of madness. I'm afraid that when I can't see you, you might get sick or be wronged. I'm afraid no one will care for you or look after you. I'm afraid someone will bully you and there'll be no one to protect you. If it were the end of the world right now, you would be the one I'd want to see most. Love is the sinking of free will. Love is knowing something is impossible, yet still doing it. Love is figuring things out during the day and being hopelessly lost at night. Love is overthinking, being utterly lost. It is giving, it is possessiveness, it is jealousy, it is suspicion, it is heartache, it is concern, it is irrationality." Changyi said solemnly, "Xiao Ran, I love you." He was sure he loved her to the point of torment. Hearing the answer she had wanted, Xiao Ran gripped Changyi's clothes and choked back a sob. Their embrace slowly loosened. Both their eyes were red. Xiao Ran couldn't help but smile as she raised a hand to gently wipe away the tear at the corner of Changyi's eye. "You crush my flowers." Changyi took half a step back, his hand still on Xiao Ran's waist. He looked down at the flowers in her hand. Xiao Ran asked, "Do you know what these flowers are?" "Jasmine and mistletoe." He remembered them perfectly after seeing them once. Changyi stared at Xiao Ran's red lips. "When you see mistletoe, aren't you supposed to kiss?" "You knew, and you still asked me?" Before Xiao Ran's words had even faded, a shadow fell over her, and Changyi kissed her. For this kiss, they both held their breath. It was just a touch of the lips, with no deeper exploration, but it was still enough to make their hearts pound. Considering they were outside, they had to restrain themselves no matter how lost in the moment they were. Xiao Ran's face flushed, and her hands tightened on the fabric of Changyi's shirt. Under the streetlight, her eyes shimmered and her red lips glistened. She was more beautiful than the flowers in her hand. Xiao Ran rested her hands on Changyi's chest. "Your heart is beating so fast. It feels like it's about to jump out." Changyi hadn't noticed how fast his heart was racing until Xiao Ran mentioned it. Now it felt like a small deer was ramming against a wall in his chest. Even with the person you like, you can feel awkward. He wanted to hold her, but didn't know how to make her comfortable. He wanted to hold her hand, but worried his palms were sweaty. "Let's go to your place tonight." "Why?" Changyi's voice trembled. "I just want to see your place. I'm curious where my boyfriend lives." "What? Are you hiding some secret you don't want me to know?" The word boyfriend sent Changyi into a daze. He quickly said, "No, if you want to go, I'll take you." Xiao Ran took the initiative to take his hand, their fingers intertwining. It wasn't until they reached his apartment complex that she realized. "Where are your crutches?" "Where are my crutches?" Changyi froze for a long moment before saying, "I left them at the restaurant. I'll get them tomorrow. I've counted. This is the 3rd time you've lost your crutches because of me. The first time was the night I confessed to you. The second was in the bathroom. This is the 3rd time. Subconscious actions don't lie." When it came to Xiao Ran, even he didn't know how many things he did involuntarily. The thought of Xiao Ran coming to his place soon sent Changyi's mind racing. Was his floor clean? Were the dishes washed? Would Xiao Ran stay the night? How would they sleep in one bed? Would Xiao Ran shower tonight? To have a better experience, should they brush their teeth before kissing? Inside the elevator, Changyi pressed the button for his floor. They stood side by side. He looked at their reflections in the elevator doors. One person was staring straight ahead, the other had her head down. Chung-yi took out his key, his fingers trembling uncontrollably. It took him several tries to insert the key into the lock. With a push, the door opened. "Please come in. No need to change your shoes." Like a new couple, they were as awkward as distant relatives visiting. Xiao Ran buried her face in the flowers, hiding a smile, while her eyes darted around, taking in the surroundings. It was clean and tidy. There were 2 large cardboard boxes in the living room. "Where should I put the flowers?" "On the coffee table is fine." Chung-yi reached out to take them. "Let me. Make yourself comfortable. I'll get you a glass of water." Xiao Ran sat on the sofa, watching Chung-yi crouch down to find a cup. With his back to her, Chung-yi said, "I only have plain water at home." "You don't need to get water. Come here." Xiao Ran patted the spot next to her on the sofa, gesturing for him to sit. Chung-yi was like a robot following commands. He put down the paper cup and sat on the edge of the sofa. Xiao Ran slowly scooted closer to him, then wrapped her arms around his stiff waist, leaning her whole body against him. "Boyfriend, you smell so good." How could he possibly smell good? He was covered in sweat from running over, mixed with the smell of chili from dinner. The combination was definitely not pleasant. The moment Xiao Ran hugged him, his body went as stiff as a board. He wanted to hug her back, but worried he smelled too bad. Xiao Ran didn't mind at all. Like a cat, she snuggled into his arms, nuzzling his neck, her hands resting gently on his thighs. Chung-yi felt his entire body go soft, a wave of heat rushing downward. Just as he was about to lose control, he shifted slightly inward on the sofa. Worried she might fall, Chung-yi steadied her upper body with his hand and replied, "I'm not wearing any cologne." Xiao Ran suppressed a laugh. "Have you ever heard that when you smell a unique scent on someone, it means your genes have chosen them? Right now, I think you smell so good." As she spoke, she moved closer. "Do you want to smell me?" Chung-yi didn't even need to lean in. He could smell Xiao Ran's fragrance just by twitching his nose. Xiao Ran stared at the tip of his nose. "Do you smell anything?" Chung-yi, "Yes." Xiao Ran pressed. "Does it smell good?" "Yes, very good." Xiao Ran smiled. "You can smell it from that far away." Chung-yi nodded, stiff as a block of wood. His fists were already sweating. Seeing that he wasn't talking, Xiao Ran got up and hugged him directly. "Since you think it smells good, then smell it more. There's a saying, if love is deep, actions will be proper. There's nothing wrong with that saying, but it depends on the context. If used in a situation like this, it would completely ruin the atmosphere. What's the use of being reserved? Being reserved won't get you the meat." Compared to feigning modesty, Xiao Ran preferred sincerity and openness. Love shouldn't be ambiguous, shouldn't be high and mighty, shouldn't be something people can't feel. Meat in the pot is easily taken by others. Even when you've grabbed it with your chopsticks, someone might try to snatch it. Even when it's in your bowl, others will covet it. Only when you've eaten it is it truly yours. Xiao Ran secretly clenched her fists, determined to eat the meat tonight, no matter what. Only then would her heart be at ease. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "Tonight, I'm staying over." Chung-yi was taken aback for a moment, but didn't refuse. Instead, he said, "My place is a bit small. As long as I can stay, it's fine. I don't have extra toiletries. I'll buy them online. They can be delivered in half an hour. You can go take a shower first." He raised a problem, and Xiao Ran solved it. Chung-yi had a vague feeling that something was going to happen tonight. Along with nervousness, there was also a bit of anticipation. But on second thought, wasn't this progressing a bit too quickly? Do normal people move in together on the first day of dating? Although Chung-yi had been in a relationship before, he had zero experience in this area and was worried he would give Xiao Ran a bad experience. Xiao Ran lifted his chin, frowning in mock complaint. "Don't you want me to stay? Are you trying to kick me out? Do you regret being with me? Were you lying when you said you loved me just now?" Chung-yi quickly shook his head. "That's not it. I'm not. Everything I said was true. I wasn't lying to you. Since you weren't, then prove it with your actions. Prove that you love me and can't bear for me to leave." Xiao Ran gently tugged on his sleeve. "We haven't seen each other for so many days. Don't you want to be with me tonight? I feel very insecure right now, full of anxiety. When I can't see you, I get so anxious I can't sleep all night. Look at me, my eyes are all bloodshot recently." She cupped Chung-ye's face with both hands, their proximity suddenly closing. Her light breath sprayed on his face. At this distance, he could not only see her eyes clearly, but also his own reflection in her pupils. Chung-yi held his breath, his Adam's apple bobbed, and he hastily took out his phone. "I'll buy the toiletries." He quickly placed an order for a toothbrush, makeup remover, face wash. For a shower, would he need to buy a change of clothes? Did he have to buy underwear and things like that for her too? He handed her the phone. You can choose for yourself. My payment password is XX0825. Xiao Ran took his phone. I won't buy pajamas. I'll just wear your shirt. I also want to pick a few other things. Why don't you go wash up first? Okay. Can I look through your phone freely? Of course. Chunyi wouldn't ask what Xiao Ran was doing or buying. As her former assistant, he would subconsciously follow her arrangements. Chunyi stood up to get clothes from his room. He looked calm, but his mind was in turmoil. He didn't have many clothes, just a few outfits that he wore on rotation, and they were almost all the same color. Chunyi found a shirt he had bought this year and had only worn twice. The thought of Xiao Ran wearing the shirt later made his imagination run wild, and he instantly felt a flush of heat. He walked into the bathroom with uncoordinated steps. Xiao Ran was pretending to look at her phone, but she was actually watching Chunyi out of the corner of her eye. After she saw the bathroom door close, she checked Chunyi's purchase history for condoms and found that there wasn't a single one on the list. What did that mean? It meant that in the months he had been dating Xiao Shanshan, nothing of that sort had happened. And tonight would be her and his first time. To say she wasn't happy would be a lie. Xiao Ran even hugged the phone and lay on the sofa, laughing secretly. Since there was no purchase history, she didn't know Cheng Ye's size. However, she'd heard that men with prominent noses, Adam's apples, and long knuckles were also quite well endowed. So, Cheng Ye should be a size L or larger. Suddenly, Xiao Ran thought of something. She searched for underwear in his order history and roughly estimated his size from the underwear size. So, she decisively ordered size XL. It was her first time buying them, too, and she was worried she might get the wrong kind, so she bought every flavor and function available at the supermarket. After paying, the delivery person would probably arrive in about half an hour. The sound of running water came from the bathroom, flowing continuously. Cheng Yu was taking much longer in the shower than usual. Who knew what he was doing in there? Xiao Ran looked around the apartment, up and down, left and right, not missing a single detail. Suddenly, her gaze stopped, fixed on an umbrella hanging on the wall. She took the umbrella down. The familiar color, the familiar pattern, and the familiar wear on the handle. She was certain this was the umbrella she had casually handed to Cheng Yu back then. For years had passed, and she never expected to see this umbrella again. When Cheng Yi came out of the bathroom, he saw Xiao Ran looking at the umbrella, and memories flooded back for him as well. Xiao Ran turned around. This umbrella, you gave it to me. You might have forgotten. Back then, I hadn't started working at the Qiao Corporation yet. To make money, I delivered food for a while. One night, I got your order for medicine. It started raining on the way over. When you opened the door and saw me, you handed me this umbrella. Who said I forgot? I remember it all. You looked like a little wet puppy back then. So why didn't you ever mention this later? Cheng Yi said, I thought you had forgotten. Mentioning something someone had forgotten could easily be misunderstood as having ulterior motives to get closer. The umbrella had been well kept by Cheng Yi. After so many years, it was still the same as before. So fate was decided so long ago. It was just like the saying goes, there are many twists and turns in this world, but what's yours is yours. Winter returns in a cycle, and those who are meant to meet will meet again. Xiao Ran checked the delivery time. It would arrive in about 10 minutes. I'll go wash up first. When the delivery arrives, can you get it for me? Cheng Yi handed her the shirt. You can wear this tonight. Do you need pants? Xiao Ran held the shirt against her body to size it up. Cheng Yi was tall, so his clothes were long. On her, it went past her hips and could be worn as a dress. No need. It would have to come off later anyway. After speaking, she turned her back to Cheng Yi. Help me take off my necklace and my bracelet too. Xiao Ran cherished the things Cheng Yi gave her and carefully placed the removed necklace into its box. Cheng Yi didn't look at Xiao Ran's shopping order. He sat on the sofa, slowly calming himself down. The delivery was fast. It was supposed to take 10 minutes, but actually arrived in 7. There was a knock on the door. Cheng Yi went to open it. The delivery bag was bigger than he had imagined. He took the bag and said, "Thank you." As he said it, he made eye contact with the delivery driver, feeling that the look the driver gave him was somewhat meaningful. Once the driver left, Cheng Yi opened the bag. The first thing he saw was a variety of brands of condoms, with all kinds of styles available. Xiao Ran bought these? They weren't just simply sleeping tonight. How did she know he was an XL? Could he handle so many? Cheng Yi held the bag and glanced at his leg, wondering if it could hold up for the night. Cheng Yi accepted it quickly. Late at night, a man and a woman alone, an undercurrent of tension, the time, place, and people were all right. When feelings run deep, things can get out of control. It was only natural. Cheng Yi studied the condoms in the bag. It was the first time he knew this stuff had so many functions and came in so many flavors. Cheng Yi, has my delivery arrived? Xiao Ran called out from the bathroom. It's here. Can you bring me the towel and disposable underwear from inside? Chung Yi rummaged through the bag. The towel and underwear were at the bottom. He took them out and knocked on the bathroom door. The door opened, and a wave of hot steam rushed out. Xiao ran hid behind the door, extending a hand. The slender, white hand was still beaded with water, her nails a delicate pink. In the spreading mist, it was like a hook that instantly snagged Chung Ye's heart, making his breathing fall into disarray. Chung Yi placed the towel in her hand. The door closed, and the sound of water started again. Suddenly, Xiao Ran called out from inside. Chung Yi. Chung Yi replied, I'm here. You're still out there? I thought you had left. Chung Yi asked, Do you want me to stay or leave? Stay. I want to talk to you. They began to chat through the door. While showering, Xiao Ran asked, I want to know, when did you first realize you liked me? Chung Yi turned and leaned against the wall. I think I liked you for a long time. I was just too cowardly to admit it. Liking Xiao Ran was an incredibly easy thing to do. Every thoughtful word of concern, every brilliant smile, every sweet whisper, every look full of love, seeing her every day. It was all part of her gradual taming of him. He could no longer be indifferent to her. Xiao Ran was like oxygen, silently invading his body, making him unable to leave her. Xiao Ran asked, If I hadn't taken the initiative, would you have never admitted that you liked me? I felt I wasn't good enough for you. Idiot, Xiao Ran interrupted him. Whether you're good enough or not is for me to decide. Why did you make that judgment on your own without asking for my opinion? That's completely unfair to me. I'm sorry. I just couldn't find a reason for you to like me. In terms of workability, there were plenty of people in the company more capable than him. In terms of looks, he wasn't top tier and was a far cry from photogenic celebrities. As for family background, that was out of the question. A woman of Xiao Ran's status had seen all kinds of men. Ran, what's your reason for liking me? Does one need a reason to love someone? I want to know. At least I can work hard to maintain whatever it is that makes you like me. If Xiao Ran was after his body, he would exercise and stay fit. If it was for his abilities, he would study diligently. If it was for his sincerity, he swore he would never betray her. The sound of the water stopped abruptly, and the bathroom suddenly fell silent. After a moment, Xiao Ran said, Then I hope you live, and live happily. His heart beat rapidly, as if it was about to be ripped from his chest. Chung Yi clutched his heart, the corners of his mouth unconsciously turning up. Xiao Ran continued, Chung Yi, you are the boyfriend I chose. Since I chose you, I accept everything about you, including your flaws. To deny yourself is to deny me. You're a great cook, you're observant, you can handle any difficult problem given to you. You know acupuncture, massage, how to fix cars, and how to grow all sorts of vegetables. You know so many things. Real care isn't about cheesy sweet talk, but about her being able to see your shining points even when you're down. Compared to empty words like, you're great, Chung Yi would rather hear, you know how to do this. Xiao Ran listed many examples. And there's one thing you can do that no one else can. Do you know what it is? Chung Yi played along. What is it? As his words fell, the bathroom door opened. Xiao Ran looked at him. You can make my heart race, make me happy, make me blissful. You make me want to kiss you. Beneath the oversized shirt, her long legs were revealed. Her normally fair cheeks were flushed pink from the steam, and even her soft lips were exceptionally red. Chung Yi glanced at her, his lower abdomen tightening, his heart thumping wildly. His entire body felt as if it were leaning against a bonfire. Xiao Ran took the initiative to step forward, wrapping her arms around Chung Ye's neck and pressing her upper body against his. Do you want to kiss me? I do. Love is mutual attraction, mutual accommodation. One person stands on tiptoe while the other bends down. The moment their lips touched was like finding an oasis in a desolate desert. After kissing for a while, Xiao Ran gently pushed against his chest and said reproachfully, I seem to recall someone once saying that in his heart, I would always be the high and mighty boss, that he only had respect for me, and that he could tell the difference between gratitude and romantic feelings. Chung Yi awkwardly avoided Xiao Ran's gaze, stammering, What boss means is, I'll do whatever the boss says, without any resistance. Xiao Ran pressed her hand against his chest, her fingers tapping lightly. So right now, is it gratitude or romantic feelings? Both. Since you'll do whatever the boss tells you to do, then I now order you to take off your clothes and lie down on the bed. Xiao Ran urged, Hurry up. Chung Ye's eyes widened, his breath caught in his throat, and a ringing filled his ears. After composing himself, his fingers began to undo his buttons. Chung Yi thought they should be more cautious about this kind of thing. He caught Xiao Ran's one in hand. Shouldn't we meet our parents first and get their approval? Xiao Ran sat on his left leg, kissing his cheek. Fine. I'll take you to see them tomorrow. Wait. As soon as he spoke, Changyi met Xiao Ran's dangerous gaze. You're telling me to wait now? She narrowed her eyes. Her tone sounded pleasant enough, but her gaze held a clear, forceful threat, as if she would pounce and bite him like a snarling kitten if he so much as nodded. I'm in charge now. Your eyes can only look at me, your mind can only think of me, and your mouth can only say my name. Come on, let me hear you say it. Chengye's voice was hoarse. Ran, call me wife. Wife. The two words came out more easily than he'd imagined, almost tumbling out of his mouth. Xiao Ran tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Then she lifted Chengye's chin, bit his lower lip, and, after a gentle nibble, called out, Hubby. Changyi instantly felt an electric current surge from his brain throughout his body. His nerve endings tingled, and his lower abdomen tightened again and again. He wrapped both arms tightly around Xiao Ran's waist. At the crucial moment, Xiao Ran stopped and pulled out the condoms from a bag. Is the size right? It should be. He'd never bought them, so he didn't know if the size was right. When he lived in the dorms at school, his roommates had described him as massive. Let's try. I don't know which kind is good, so I bought every brand, flavor, and function from the supermarket. You can pick one you like first. For our first time, we should experience more. Only when both sides are happy can it be called true happiness. Chengye's ears turned red. The bag was filled with a dazzling array of options. He didn't even know where to start. Seeing he had decision paralysis, Xiao Ran didn't make it hard for him. She opened each box and took out one packet from each. It's fine. We have a long night ahead. We could try them one by one. He knew Xiao Ran was bold, but he never expected her to be this bold, this fiery. Chengyi was completely captivated by her. Seducing Chengyi was as easy as breathing for Xiao Ran. She said with a touch of authority, Tonight, you're not allowed to move. Let me do the work. Considering Chengye's foot hadn't fully recovered, Xiao Ran sat on his lap. The process, well, it was as natural as water flowing into a channel with immediate results. Xiao Ran held Chengye's head, his hair brushing against her neck. It was so ticklish that tears streamed down her face. Some talents are innate. Although Changyi had injured one leg, it didn't affect his strength or technique in the slightest. A corny pickup line popped into Xiao Ran's head. People are usually two-faced, one way to your face and another behind your back, but for us, it was 10 condoms in 8 hours. It wasn't Xiao Ran's first time pulling an all-nighter, but this one was truly exhausting, like climbing Mount Tai, Mount Huang, Mount Hua, and Mount Amei all at once. And this was with Chengye's leg not fully healed. If it had been, the consequences were unimaginable. The next day, Xiao Ran couldn't get up. She spent the entire day in bed wearing Chengye's shirt. Even her meals were brought to the room by Chengyi. Chengyi, on the other hand, was completely fine and even woke up on time. He didn't go to get his crutches until September 1st, only to find that the shop owner had closed for a break. Xiao Ran said, Actually, your leg doesn't need crutches anymore. From now on, if your leg hurts when you walk, you can lean on me. The several thousand yuan crutches were gone, just like that. But as Xiao Ran said, even the best crutches were just a decoration for a healthy person. There was no need for Changyi to look for them, and they had probably been thrown away by now. The shop owner's closing time was uncertain, and Changyi was preparing to move in the next few days anyway. After confirming their relationship, Xiao Ran had asked him to move in with her. Firstly, her house was big with many rooms. Secondly, it was close to her company, making life more convenient. Xiao Ran hoped to see him every day after work, to have him by her side when she slept, and for him to be the first person she saw when she woke up. They were in the honeymoon phase and really didn't want to be apart. Chengyi agreed to move into Xiao Ran's home and to renovate the new apartment he had bought at the same time. I'll find some time to invite Uncle Xiao and Annie out for a meal and tell them about us. The thought of meeting Xiao Ran's parents made Chengyi nervous. After all, just a few months ago, he was dating their younger daughter, and now he had run off with their other daughter. What would her father think of him? What would her mother think? Sensing his nervousness, Xiao Ran took his hand and placed it on her cheek. Don't be nervous. They've known for a long time that I like you and that I'm pursuing you. They know. Xiao Ran nodded. I told them before I went to find you. They didn't object. She said it lightly, hiding the fact that she had kneeled. Chengyi, when it comes to you, I never fight a battle I'm not sure I can win, and I can't bear to see you get hurt in this relationship. As Xiao Ran said this, her innate confidence and charisma were impossible to ignore. She was already beautiful, with a graceful figure, and when she smiled, She was more dazzling than the sun in the sky. How virtuous, how capable, how fortunate he was to have met her and to be treated this way. The things that had been stressing him out had already been resolved by Xiao Ran. Why didn't you tell me this before? You hadn't accepted me then. Besides, I told you that liking you was my own business and that you shouldn't overthink it. Xiao Ran teased him deliberately. Now that you know, don't you feel both touched and relieved, as if the dark clouds hanging over your head have all disappeared? If she had told Ching Yi earlier, it would only have added to his pressure. He might have even sent her back as soon as she arrived at his place. Xiao Ran's love for Chang Yi was like a slow, steady stream, calm and peaceful, allowing him to gradually get used to her presence until he couldn't bear to be without her, couldn't leave her. Cheng Yi nodded. He was easily fooled by Xiao Ran's words. It was only later that he realized, for a man like her father who valued reputation so much, how could he have so easily agreed to this? Something else must have happened. The moment Xiao Ran won Cheng Yi over, she had called her parents. It was August 31 SD. The agreement was for 1 month, and she had made it just at the end of the month. Her father had nothing more to say. After all, Xiao Ran was so outstanding, capable and beautiful. If Cheng Yi rejected even her, it could only mean he was blind. At first, her father had been against it. But during the month Xiao Ran was away, he had slowly processed it and prepared himself to accept Cheng Yi as his eldest son-in-law. Keep the benefits within the family. Some connections are destined by fate, just like Cheng Yi. He was born to be his son-in-law. Her father told his wife the news. The family needs to start preparing for a wedding again. Compared to her father's optimism, Xiao Ran's mother had more to consider. Does Cheng Yi really like Ran? Could it be to get revenge on Shan Shan? Don't you know Chang Ye's character? He would never involve an innocent person just for revenge. If he wanted revenge on Shan Shan, he would have done it long ago. Her father reminded her, "Don't you dare say this to Ran." Her mother's worries were understandable. It was because she cared, because she was afraid of Xiao Ran getting hurt, that she overthought things and imagined the worst. Her father kissed her and held her comfortingly. "We've known Cheng Yi for so many years. He's a good kid. I admire him very much. Even if you don't trust him, you should trust Ran's judgment. Well, has she ever been wrong about people or things? Since they're together, it means they're both prepared to face everything." He kept one thought to himself. In truth, he had felt long ago that Cheng Yi and Xiao Ran were a better match. They were destined for each other. It was only a matter of time before they got together. If it weren't for Xiao Shan Shan, they probably would have fallen in love long ago. Her mother asked, "With Ran and Cheng Yi together, what do we tell Shan Shan?" Her father, "Let's not tell her for now." In her father's view, the one they needed to be wary of was Xiao Shan Shan. To prevent her from causing trouble, he chose to keep it a secret for the time being. When the time was right, she would find out naturally. If she behaved, there would always be a place for her at the family table. If not, they would just pack her up and send her abroad, out of sight, out of mind. Thinking of Xiao Shan Shan, her father frowned and muttered, "I wonder how her moral education is going lately." The morality class he had sent Xiao Shan Shan to was extremely strict. She studied from morning till night, learning about virtue, kindness, and decency. If Xiao Shan Shan misbehaved or refused to learn, her hand would be slapped. If she didn't eat properly, she wouldn't get to eat for the whole day. According to her teacher, Xiao Shan Shan had been behaving very well recently. The pampered young lady who had never lifted a finger was now able to wash her own clothes and even cook a few simple dishes. Xiao Shan Shan, having just finished washing up, sneezed. She hadn't been feeling well recently. Her heart would ache with sharp pains, and her mood was constantly gloomy. She didn't know if it was stress or depression for being confined for too long, but recently she couldn't sleep well or eat much. When she did manage to fall asleep, her dreams were all nightmares. She dreamed of Cheng Yi, covered in blood, staring at her. Then she dreamed of Cheng Yi marrying another woman. She was furious and wanted to rush over and confront him, but the next second, she missed a step and fell down the stairs. Xiao Shan Shan woke with a start, gasping for air. The palpitations in her chest remained, a dull tightness. This wasn't the first time this had happened. The worst was on the night of August 30th. She had felt so unwell she couldn't sleep the entire night. She thought it would pass, but the tightness in her chest only grew worse, making her agitated and restless. Especially when she recalled the dream she just had, the pain intensified, accompanied by a strange sense of panic, as if something important was about to slip away from her. Dreams are the opposite of reality. How could Cheng Yi marry someone else? He was so deeply hurt by her. He probably wouldn't dare to marry for the rest of his life, right? Xiao Shanshan let out a breath and got up to pour a glass of water. She stood by the bed and pulled open the curtains. The moon was very bright tonight. Some people, when you don't consciously think of them, they appear in your mind out of nowhere, as fast as a flash of lightning, catching even you off guard. She looked at her left hand, remembering the image of Cheng Yi in his wheelchair that day. Her hand, which had already healed, started to ache again, and even her fingers began to tremble. To say she didn't regret it would be a lie. If time could be turned back, she definitely wouldn't have chosen to run away from the wedding. Not running away didn't mean she liked Cheng Yi. She just didn't want to have a life on her conscience. Xiao Shanshan admitted she cared about Cheng Yi, but she would never admit she liked him. Cheng Yi had said such horrible things to her, and had even broken her fingers with his wheelchair. How could she possibly like him? To her, Cheng Yi was just a tool. She had already run away from the wedding in front of so many people, proving she looked down on him. If she were to go back even once, it would mean she was cheap. She would never allow such a humiliating thing to happen. Xiao Ran rested for 2 days, and on September 2nd, she brought Cheng Yi back to the Qiao family home. Cheng Yi bought gifts based on her parents' preferences. The closer they got, the more nervous he became. Come to think of it, he wasn't this nervous even when he first met her parents when he and Xiao Shanshan had just started dating. Afraid that Xiao Ran would laugh at him, Cheng Yi secretly turned away from her and took a deep breath. Are you that nervous? It's not your first time meeting them. That may be so, but the situation was vastly different. Cheng Yi could only console himself and give himself a silent pep talk. The next second, Xiao Ran suddenly leaned in and kissed him. She stood on her tiptoes, first pecking his cheek, and then, before he could react, she captured his lips. Xiao Ran especially loved to initiate kisses with him, as if she were addicted. She said she enjoyed deep communication. Cheng Yi enjoyed it too, which was why Xiao Ran hadn't gotten out of bed for a whole day. Feeling better now? Still nervous? His heart was still beating fast, but this speed had nothing to do with nervousness. Cheng Yi shook his head. Not nervous anymore. Xiao Ran patted his head as if calming a large dog. Cheng Yi, I really like you so much. So much that I want to marry you right away. In all my life, I never thought I would like someone this much. My parents won't give you a hard time. They'll like you just as I do, because if it weren't for you, their daughter might have ended up alone for the rest of her life. Cheng Yi was amused by her words. He had to admit, this method of comforting was very effective. Cheng Yi straightened his back, his gaze direct and shining. Meeting her parents went more smoothly than expected. Perhaps because Xiao Ran had given them a heads up, her parents' eyes were calm when they saw him. They acted as if nothing had happened and welcomed him inside. Her father clapped Cheng Yi on the shoulder forcefully twice and said warmly, Anyway, it's not your first time here. Make yourself at home. Sit wherever, eat whatever, do whatever. I was originally thinking of adopting you as my son, but thank goodness I didn't. If I had, wouldn't that have made you and Ran siblings? Being my son-in-law is better. You were born to be my son-in-law. Come on, call me dad and let me hear it. Cheng Yi had imagined countless scenarios, but this was the one he had missed. Under his father-in-law's intense gaze, Cheng Yi called out, Dad. Hearing this, her father was even happier. You should have called me that long ago. Come over here, let's play a couple of games of chess, father and son. Cheng Yi was dragged to the chessboard by her father. I don't know how to play Chinese chess. It's fine, I'll teach you. Just remember the moves. Cheng Yi didn't know the moves. At first, he thought her father was very good at chess, but halfway through, he realized they were both about the same skill level. Didn't you say you didn't know how to play? You're playing quite well. After one game, her father wasn't satisfied and started a second. Her mother and Xiao Ran were chatting outside. This time, her father was much more composed. After the second game, he put down his chess piece and said, Cheng Yi, to be honest, I was against Ran being with you at first. Her father spoke to Cheng Yi with heartfelt sincerity. At first, I was against Ran being with you. It's not that you're not good, but there are many problems you too will have to face. Public opinion, strange looks from others. The Qiao family was not an ordinary family. Once a problem arose, they would be scrutinized by every industry and every family. All the issues her father referred to would only occur after they got together. If they weren't together, there would be no problems at all. Could Cheng Yi handle this kind of pressure? Had he thought about how to resolve it? I have thought about it. I am willing to take the risk. Cheng Yi looked at her father. Ran has already told me about the things you mentioned. Compared to those issues, what I'm actually more afraid of is losing her. When a strong wind blows down the phoenix tree, others will have their own opinions. The same my grandmother often told me is that life is short, so enjoy it while you can. You only live once, and you never know whether tomorrow or an accident will come first. In this limited life, try to do happy things, love the person you love most, eat good food, and do what you love. If you have to care about others' opinions for everything, then living would be too boring. We are born to live for ourselves, not for the judgment of others. Simply put, he wasn't money, so he couldn't make everyone like him. Cheng-Yi toyed with a miniature chess piece in his hand. Uncle Xiao, I only care about the opinions of those I care about. He met her father's eyes and said seriously, your evaluation of me is what's most important. Her father felt a little thirsty and poured 2 cups of tea from the tray. What if I hadn't agreed? Cheng-Yi, then Xiao ran, and I would work hard to get your approval. Her father countered, what if I never agreed? Always opposed. Cheng-Yi replied, I won't be swayed by your opinion. In my view, how you see me is your business, not mine. Arbitrarily taking on others' problems will only make one suffer. Are parents' opinions important? Of course they are, but not that important. I once read a book, and there was a line in it that said, before I can get along with others, I must first get along with myself. The moment I decided to be with Ran, I gained the courage to be disliked. I gave up on correcting others' misunderstandings. It doesn't matter if I'm not liked by you. Apart from her, anyone else's definition of me is meaningless. Cheng-Yi's attitude was neither servile nor overbearing, and he responded with composure. There is one thing that cannot follow the principle of conformity, and that is a person's heart, conscience, and sincerity. Cheng-Yi appeared as steady as a mountain, but his palms were actually sweating. Her father picked up his teacup and took a sip. When he set it down, he looked at Cheng-Yi, blinked, and said slowly, Cheng-Yi, I am very satisfied with you, but you have one problem right now. You are not strong enough. You need to climb up to the very top. You need to master the rules, make the rules, and make those who look down on you look up to you. Only by being powerful can one be invulnerable. Only when you become powerful will others fear you. I'll give you 2 choices now. First, you can join the Chow Corporation, and I will arrange an important position for you. Second, you can start your own business and present me with a project that I find satisfactory, and I will invest in you. Her father was making it clear that he wanted to promote Cheng-Yi. He never hid his admiration for him. Even if he weren't his son-in-law, he would still cherish his talent and elevate him. And now, her father was being explicit, which was equivalent to giving him a ladder to the clouds. Uncle Xiao, Her father frowned and interrupted him. What uncle? Didn't I tell you to call me Dad? We're all family now. Don't be so distant. As a man, he could roughly understand Cheng-Yi's feelings at this moment. He continued, Cheng-Yi, as your father, let me teach you a lesson today. Placing all your hopes on others is foolish. It's childish. But using others' strength to empower yourself is the right way to do things. Don't see yourself as a kept man and look down on yourself. What you're doing isn't living off a woman. It's called making rational use of resources. In fact, the so-called relying on yourself is the biggest trap. Many people rely on their families to buy houses and cars, on friends for resources, on elders for promotions. If there's money, take it. If there's a mountain, lean on it. Mobilizing all available resources around you to achieve your goals. That's what a smart person does. Those born into good families have an easy life. Beautiful people rely on their looks to make money from acting. Smart people rely on their intelligence to get high-paying jobs. This world is inherently unfair. Not taking a shortcut when one is available is foolish. Her father used himself as an example. Like me, I relied on my parents, my wife, and my father-in-law. If they hadn't fully supported me when I started my business, I wouldn't be where I am today. Besides, things are different now compared to our time. We were lucky back then, standing at the cusp of a money-making boom. It was easy to get our first pot of gold. Her father stood up as he spoke. The way others treat you is never determined by how much you do for them, but by your own strength and value. Most people are more tolerant of the strong. But for the weak, no matter how much you do or how much you compromise, they will still think you are cheap and easy to manipulate. Respect is earned by yourself, not given by others. Only when you are strong will those you've lost regret it. Only then will those who look down on you feel ashamed. Only then will Ran have face when she takes you out. In short, if you do well, it's good for a whole family. Do you understand? Her father looked at him seriously, his gaze deep and stern. Cheng-Yi stood up and bowed to him. Dad, I understand. Thank you for your guidance. A promising young man. If Cheng-Yi had still tried to refuse after all this, her father would have looked down on him, thinking he was content with the status quo, like mud that couldn't be molded. Xiao Ran knocked twice on the door. Dad, are you two still playing chess? We're done. Then can I come in? Come in. As soon as he spoke, Xiao Ran pushed the door open from the outside and came in. Seeing the few pieces left on the board, she asked. Who won and who lost? A draw, her father said with a smile. Xiaoya's chess skills are pretty good. We were evenly matched. Xiao Ran knew how bad her father's chess was but didn't expose him. She walked over and linked her arm with Chang Ye's. Today, Cheng Yi and I will cook a few dishes for you to try. Her father looked at Xiao Ran. You know how to cook? I just learned recently. Not as good as A Yi. Worried that Cheng Yi would feel uncomfortable, Xiao Ran led him towards the kitchen. It's settled then. We'll make some dumplings for lunch today and stir-fry a few small dishes. Her father walked behind them, watching the two with their arms linked so intimate. It was a bit bittersweet because in all these years, Xiao Ran had never been this affectionate with him. The butler at his side sighed at just the right moment. It's been a long time since I've seen Miss smile so happily. Expressions and body language don't lie. When Xiao Ran was with Cheng Yi, she was in a completely different state, relaxed, comfortable, at ease, as if she had returned to her childhood. She held nothing back with him, showing her truest self. In front of him, she could be coquettish, she could cry, she could laugh out loud, she could sleep in, she could disregard etiquette, and she could eat without lifting a finger. Her father stood outside, watching the young couple cooking in the kitchen, their movements so practiced they looked like an old married couple. Her mother also came over, resting her head on her husband's shoulder. Look, how happy our daughter is. Yes, her father squeezed her hand. Come on, let's go see if there's anything we can do to help. Ever since they hired a chef and a maid, they hadn't cooked. Her father stood at the doorway. Is there anything we can do? Xiao Ran brought out the dumpling wrappers. You can wrap dumplings. Her mother, I know how to wrap dumplings. Her father knew how too, but it had been too long. His technique was a bit rusty, and his dumplings were a mess. After wrapping a few, he slowly got the hang of it again. The family was harmonious. Seeing that it was about time, Cheng Yi went into the kitchen to start stir-frying. Xiao Ran followed, acting as his assistant, and took the opportunity to ask, Did my dad give you a hard time? No. Some of the things Dad said today relieve my pressure and worries. I'm very grateful to him. What did he say? Cheng Yi briefly and clearly recounted his conversation with her father to Xiao Ran, which warmed her heart. Xiao Ran hadn't expected her dad to be able to say such profound things. Men understand men best. His words were more effective than anything else. What are your thoughts? Cheng Yi said seriously. I want to become strong, very capable. Only then can I prove that your choice was not wrong. Then let the fair wind aid you, and may it send you to the azure clouds. With that, Xiao Ran turned on the range hood. After dinner that night, her mother mentioned, I heard from Ran that you're planning to move soon? Yes. Her father suggested, why don't you move in here? I'm bored anyway. We can play chess, go fishing, and play ball together. Dad, you still have to work. Where would you find a time to play chess and go fishing? Aren't you back now? If you come back to work, I can rest. As soon as Xiao Ran returned, her father wanted to pass on his responsibilities and become a freeloader. Xiao Ran scoffed. Who said I'm going back to work? Just because I'm back. I've carefully calculated my vacation days from all these years. I can still take at least 2 more months off. Her father was stunned. How do you have so many vacation days? Do you want me to calculate them for you? No need. Her father muttered. Then there should be no problem with Cheng Yi moving in here, right? Xiao Ran, as serious as if she were discussing a billion-dollar deal, said, There's a problem. It would interfere with our life as a couple. We just started dating and are in the honeymoon phase. He doesn't have time to play chess with you. I've already arranged a place for him to live. He'll move to my place in the next few days. It's convenient for transportation and close to his new apartment. Cheng Yi needs to renovate his place recently. Her mother glanced at them. All right, you two can decide for yourselves. But it's so late today, why don't you stay here for the night? Xiao Ran nodded. That's fine. After dinner, her mother had a habit of taking a walk to aid digestion. Usually, her father would accompany her. Tonight, with more people, they all decided to go for a walk together. The evening breeze was cool. They ran into many acquaintances on the road. Although no one said much, the looks they gave Cheng Yi were peculiar. Because of this, they returned after a short walk. Her mother had the maid prepare a guest room for Cheng Yi to sleep in. Cheng Yi showered and got into bed. He was just drifting off to sleep when he heard a rustling sound at the door. He was a light sleeper and opened his eyes at the noise. He then saw the door open and a figure sneak in furtively. Looking closely, it was Xiao Ran. She was wearing a white nightgown, sneaking into the room like a little cat up to no good. After confirming her target, she closed the door, her figure hidden in the night. In the darkness, he could barely make out a silhouette moving towards the bed. Successfully finding the bed, Xiao Ran slipped under the covers and slowly moved closer to Cheng Yi. Hubby, are you asleep? I can't sleep. Chung Yi pretended to be asleep, wanting to see what Xiao Ran would do next. Xiao Ran didn't seem to expect Chung Yi to be sleeping so soundly. She muttered to herself, could it be that he's too tired from the day? Xiao Ran leaned in and quietly hugged his arm, nuzzling against it. Hubby, I love you. Feeling that wasn't enough, she propped herself up and kissed Chung Ye's face a couple of times. Just as she was about to lie back down, the man beside her suddenly rolled over, pinning her beneath him and accurately sealing her lips. They kissed for a long time, until Xiao Ran was breathless, before he finally let her go. You weren't asleep? Xiao Ran gently pinched his waist. Then why did you ignore me just now? Chung Yi didn't answer immediately. Instead, he buried his face in the sensitive crook of her neck. Because the way you were sneaking around just now was just too cute. Wife, I love you so much too. After saying that, he caressed Xiao Ran's face and started kissing her again. They kissed until they were both panting. A moment later, Xiao Ran whispered, Are you angry? Chung Yi was taken aback. Why would I be angry? Then why are you so furiously aroused? Chung Yi didn't get it at first. Shouldn't the word be furiously angry? Xiao Ran leaned closer, staring at his lower body. In this situation, it's better to use it in reverse. Chung Yi finally understood, his face flushing crimson. Who taught you to use it like that? Learn it online. Which site? The ones minors aren't allowed to watch. Chung Yi frowned. You're not allowed to watch them anymore. Xiao Ran held back her laughter, teasing him intentionally. Why not? Chung Yi said in a muffled voice. You can only look at mine. So possessive, huh? It was too dark to see his face, but from his tone, she could guess his expression. Chung Yi didn't say anything, just silently lifted his shirt and took Xiao Ran's hand, placing it on his body. Xiao Ran pinched his cheek. Call me big sister, and let me hear it. To achieve his goal, Chung Yi was willing to satisfy any of Xiao Ran's requests. Beforehand, he would call her big sister, and during, he would make her call him big brother. Big sister, are you satisfied? Satisfied? Chung Yi made a mental note. They kissed and hugged. After Xiao Ran had had her fill of touching, he finally lowered his shirt. Let me walk you back. Her mother had arranged a guest room for him, meaning they were supposed to sleep in separate rooms. If she saw Xiao Ran coming out of this room tomorrow, who knows what she would think? No, I can't sleep without you. My mind is full of you. Xiao Ran clung to him, refusing to let go. I'll sneak back before it gets light. My parents get up around 7 or 8. I usually wake up at 6, so I can definitely avoid them. Then let's just sleep like this. At worst, he would just wake up earlier and carry her back. In the end, Xiao Ran was secretly carried back by Chung Yi. When she woke up, she had no memory of it. Staring at the familiar ceiling, the familiar wardrobe, the familiar big bed, she was dazed for a long time, almost thinking that everything that happened last night was a dream. She had taken melatonin for insomnia before. She was a picky sleeper and needed a quiet environment to fall asleep normally. When had she ever slept so soundly? Thinking about everything that had happened with Chung Yi, Xiao Ran's heart felt as if it were filled with honey, and a sweet smile appeared on her face. After breakfast, Chung Yi prepared to leave. Before he left, her mother grabbed his hand. Xiao Yi, from now on, you must treat Ran well. As she said this, the scene of Xiao Ran telling them she liked Chung Yi flashed in her mind. Every word she said, every expression, and how she had kneel for the first time to beg for their approval. Auntie, I definitely will. Please don't worry. Having known Chung Yi for so long, she knew he had always been a kind, gentle, and responsible young man. She felt at ease in trusting Xiao Ran to him. Her mother's eyes glistened with tears. She nodded and said, That's good, then. Chung Yi was busy moving and finding designers for the renovation for the next 2 days. Since it was their future home, the design had to take Xiao Ran's preferences into account. Chung Yi bought a safe and put his important things inside. His grandmother's phone, the video and audio recordings his grandmother left before she passed away, his mother's photo, and the verdict from the Song family's case. He set the password to his grandmother's birthday. Xiao Ran had a maid at home, so there was no need for Chung Yi to cook. However, he would still find time to make a few of Xiao Ran's favorite dishes, pack them in a lunchbox, and deliver them to her during the day. When she was on her period, he would make brown sugar water and put a few glucose candies in her bag. After a long day of work, Chung Yi returned home. The lights were on, and the aroma of food filled the air. The person he loved was sitting on the sofa waiting for him. Seeing him return, Xiao Ran immediately rushed over to hug him and secretly nibbled on his ear. Boyfriend, welcome home. The shop he had just bought needed to have its ownership transferred. After finishing the matters at hand, Chung Yi rushed back to the countryside. After the shop's ownership was transferred, he began renovations, preserving the message board wall. Opening just a flower shop here wouldn't be profitable, so Chung Yi decided to open a bakery along with it. The shop's renovation took a month. Chung Yi also rented a piece of land to grow flowers, hiring professionals. As for the flower shop manager, after considering various options, he decided to choose someone he trusted. Annie Liu was overjoyed to learn that Chung Yi wanted her to be the flower shop manager, but she immediately became worried. Mr. Chung, I don't know how to sell flowers. I don't understand any of this. It's fine. If you're willing to be the manager, I'll take you for training. You can start once you've learned. Annie Liu, of course, had no problem with that. With the flower shop work settled, he also had to think about starting his own business. Chung Yi took his father-in-law's words to heart. Between joining the Chow Corporation and starting his own business, he chose the latter. He had already contacted his university classmates who were into game development. They formed a team, and Chung Yi invested in them to do the design. Their first game, Wolfie Wolf, was a success. With fast food culture now prevalent, Chung Yi seized the opportunity. He bought IPs to film short dramas, did live streaming, and build up his social media accounts. Then he used his platform to promote his hometown and help the villagers sell their agricultural products. Due to the incident with the Song family, Chung Yi still had some public attention. Knowing that he had built a road for his hometown, netizens were very supportive, and the agricultural products sold out in a single day. The brief long-distance relationship was agonizing for the couple in their honeymoon phase. They had a text and video call every day with endless things to talk about. Sometimes, they would fall asleep while on a video call. Chow Ran handed most of her work over to her father, ignoring the pained look on her old father's face. 51 is the age to strive. Dad, if you want to hold your grandchild sooner, then work hard. This statement hit her father where it hurt. Friends his age were already holding their grandchildren. Looking at the photos they posted on her social media, he couldn't help but feel envious. Her father hinted, "When are you two getting married?" Xiao Ran was not like Xiao Shanshan. She saw things through from beginning to end and was very serious about both people and matters. Once she committed to someone, she would not give up. Therefore, in her father's view, getting married sooner or later was the same, so they might as well get the license early. The wedding could be held later. Dad, if I get the license with him now, would you think things are moving too fast? Getting a license is your own business. As long as you two have thought it through, you can get it whenever you want. Could it be that if I say you're not allowed to, you won't do it? Xiao Ren shook her head. There you go. Since you set your sights on him, hold on tight. Only what you've eaten is truly yours. There was nothing wrong with that statement. She thought so too. Then IDLL look for a good day and we'll go get the license. What about Mom's side? Xiao Ren asked. Her father waved his hand dismissively. Just think about yourselves. Don't worry about other things. Your mom thinks the same as I do. After assigning the work to her father, Xiao Ran dragged her suitcase and went back to the countryside to find Chung Yi. Rome City. Because of her good performance, Xiao Shanshan's teacher gave her a few days off to go home and rest. Xiao Shanshan took a car home. She hadn't been home for a month. When she arrived, she didn't see her parents. She asked, "Where are my mom and dad?" The housekeeper, "Sir is at work and Madam is out. She'll be back later." Why did my dad suddenly go to work? Xiao Shanshan didn't ask about Xiao Ran, because most of the time, Xiao Ran didn't live here. Xiao Shanshan muttered to herself, then opened a shoe cabinet to change her shoes. The first thing she saw was a pair of men's slippers on the outer side. These slippers belonged to Chung Yi. He wore them every time he came here. Xiao Shanshan froze for a moment, then pretended to ask the housekeeper casually, "Did we have any guests while I was away?" No one has come recently. From the housekeeper's perspective, Chung Ye's status was not that of a guest. Xiao Shanshan frowned, but didn't say anything and went straight inside. It was hot, so she poured herself a glass of water. After drinking it, she still felt thirsty. Remembering there was ice cream in the fridge, Xiao Shanshan got up and went to the kitchen to open the freezer. She searched through several layers, but didn't find any ice cream. Instead, she saw a box of dumplings. Looking at the pleats on the dumplings, the way they were wrapped looked very much like Chung Ye's. The maid came in and saw Xiao Shanshan staring at the box of dumplings, thinking she was hungry. "Miss Shanshan, are you hungry?" Xiao Shanshan held the box of dumplings and asked directly, "Has Chung Yi been to the house?" The maid's expression didn't change. "Mister, Chung has indeed been here." Her heart tightened uncontrollably. She didn't know if it was because of her dreams, but whenever Chung Yi was mentioned, she would start to feel nervous and flustered. "What was he doing here?" The maid said, "Mister, Chung came here to discuss something with Chairman Xiao." "Discuss what?" The maid shook her head. I don't know. It wasn't that she didn't know, but that her parents had already told them not to say anything. Xiao Shanshan had thought Changyi would cut off all ties with the Qiao family because of her, since they were still in contact. Did that mean things weren't as bad as she had imagined? Xiao Shanshan put down the dumplings and went upstairs to her room. For the past month, her phone had been confiscated. She couldn't contact anyone except her parents. She was completely isolated and had no idea what was happening outside. Sometimes, she couldn't even tell what year it was. Xiao Shanshan turned on her computer and logged into a chat platform. As soon as she was online, she saw over 99 message notifications. There were group messages and private messages from friends, most of them concerned about her recent situation, asking what she had been up to. Someone also mentioned Song Yao. Shanshan, Song Yao is in jail. Have you been to see him? After all, he did what he did to help you escape the wedding. I never expected Song Yao and Changyi to have that kind of history. The Song family is so unlucky. They were shut down and went bankrupt overnight. Shanshan, do you like Song Yao or Changyi? I never thought Changyi would be so capable. I'll never call him a kept man again. Aside from his family background, he's handsome, has a good body, and is very considerate and caring. Plus, his annual income is in the millions. Your dad seems to think highly of him too, saying he might be a rising star. Looking at it this way, he's pretty good. If I had known, I wouldn't have advised you to break up with him. When Xiao Shanshan saw this message, her hands subconsciously tightened on the mouse. Her already pale face looked even paler under the glow of the computer screen. Xiao Shanshan bit her lip, suppressing the inexplicable panic in her heart, and continued scrolling down. She saw someone ask her, Shanshan, are you still in contact with Changyi? My mom said she saw him walking with your parents in the neighborhood a few days ago. They look very close. I'm wondering, could he be deliberately getting close to your parents to get back together with you? After all, you're pretty and rich, very popular in our circle. Without you, where would he find someone better than you? He sent Song Yao to prison, not only getting his revenge, but also getting rid of a love rival. If you ask me, he's definitely still hung up on you. After reading all these messages, Xiao Shanshan's heart beat faster and faster, her mind frantically searching for answers. Was Changyi really still hung up on her? Changyi was like a toy from her childhood. It was novel at first, but she grew tired of it over time. When it was thrown aside and she couldn't find it, she would start to miss it. In the days since breaking up with Changyi, she always found herself uncontrollably thinking about his good qualities, thinking about his grandmother's rough hand gently stroking her head. There was annoyance, guilt, regret. Was there any care in there? If she cared, she wouldn't have run away from the wedding. But if she didn't care, why did it hurt so much to think of him? Xiao Shanshan began to re-examine her relationship with Changyi. If Changyi really asked to get back together, she wasn't against considering it. Xiao Shanshan looked at her hand. Half of the reason for Cheng Ye's leg injury was because of her. As they say, what goes around comes around. She had also paid a similar price. At night, Xiao Shanshan asked the maid to cook the dumplings from the fridge. At the dinner table, while eating the dumplings, she asked, Dad, while I was away, did Changyi come to the house? How did you know? He made these dumplings. I recognized them. I also asked Annie Lee, and she said, Changyi came to talk to you about something. What did you talk about? Her parents had spoken privately and agreed not to reveal the relationship between Changyi and Xiao Ran for the time being. To be safe, they would tell Xiao Shanshan after the two got their marriage license, or wait for her to find out on her own. Her father's hand holding the chopsticks paused for a moment. Then he said casually, business. Xiao Shanshan probed. Did he mention me? Why would he mention you? Her father glanced at her coldly. To mention how shameless you are, how cruel you are, or how ill-mannered you are. Her father's sarcasm was merciless. Xiao Shanshan's face turned ugly with embarrassment, and she lowered her head, almost burying her face in her bowl. She didn't understand. It had been so long. Why did they still have to dwell on the past? Wasn't paying compensation enough to settle the score? Besides, she had also paid a similar price. Dad, when is Changyi coming to our house again? I want to apologize to him. Her father, the best apology would be for you to not bother him. Xiao Shanshan's face changed, a mix of green and red. Before she could recover, she heard her father continue. With that spare time, you might as well go to a temple and copy a few volumes of the Tao Te Ching. Then can I at least have my phone back? I've been out of touch for so long. My friends are all worried about me. It would be better not to contact those friends of yours. A bunch of bad influences, good-for-nothings who just eat and drink, with ill intentions, always gossiping and seeking pleasure. They say birds of a feather flock together. The kind of people you associate with determines the path you walk. Fish swim with fish, shrimp with shrimp, and toads with frogs. Dad! Bang! Her father slammed his chopsticks down, his eyes flashing with a cold light. Are you done yet? Xiao Shanshan trembled and shot a pleading look at her mother, but her mother didn't even glance at her. Xiao Shanshan felt both wronged and angry, a ball of frustration stuck in her chest, accompanied by a sense of unease. Both the atmosphere at home and her parents' attitude towards her felt alien. In all her life, she had never been put in such an embarrassing position. For that meal, Xiao Shanshan only ate those few dumplings. To contact the outside world, she could use the computer. The reason she wanted her phone was to contact Cheng Yi. She checked her social media accounts. Cheng Yi had already deleted and blocked her. The only way to contact him was by phone, but she couldn't remember his number. After dinner, Xiao Shanshan went upstairs and used her computer to reply to a friend. Jiao Jiao, are you there? I want to ask you something. After waiting for nearly 10 minutes, the other person replied, You're finally out? I heard from my mom that your dad sent you to some kind of training class. No phone, no internet, can't go out freely. What's the difference between that and being in jail? I want to know how you survive. How did she survive? At first, she couldn't accept it either and kept trying to run away, but she was caught every time she made a move. The teachers there didn't care about her status or which family she came from. If she disobeyed, she was punished solitary confinement, slapped on the hand, copying books. The daily schedule was packed, so much so that she had no time to think about anything else. She seemed to have gotten used to the new environment, but in reality, she was in agony every day. She only pretended to be obedient to get home sooner. Xiao Shanshan didn't answer Jiao Jiao's question and went straight to the point. The message you sent me before about your mom, seeing Cheng Yi walking with my parents. Can you tell me more about it? It was just a normal walk, a normal conversation, nothing else. My mom saw them, said hello, and left. I just thought it was strange. Logically, after what happened, shouldn't they have cut off all contact? I didn't expect them to be so close. If you ask me, Cheng Yi is most likely still hung up on you. Not necessarily, Xiao Shanshan said rationally. Cheng Yi worked for the Qiao family. He might have just come to our house to discuss work. Jiao Jiao, how are you so sure? Xiao Shanshan. I asked my dad and figured it out from what he said. Jiao Jiao, that makes sense too. My mom also said she saw your sister with Cheng Yi that day. They look pretty close. I remember Cheng Yi used to work under your sister, right? What? Cheng Yi and Xiao ran together? Xiao Shanshan's eyelid twitched, and the unease in her heart swelled. She hadn't forgotten her original purpose for getting close to Cheng Yi. She wanted to one-up Xiao Ran, to make her back down, to let Xiao Ran have a taste of failure. She just loved to snatch everything Xiao Ran cared about. She couldn't beat her in academics or workability, but she knew men better than her. Now that Xiao Ran finally cared about a man, she of course had to try and snatch him away. After trying, she found he was nothing special, so she tossed him aside like trash. She should have maintained this indifferent attitude and looked down on everything. But the thought of those two possibly getting together made Xiao Shanshan clench her fists. Jiao Jiao, can you do me a favor? I can't go out for now. Can you ask around and find out where Cheng Yi is for me? Xiao Shanshan told her the location of Cheng Ye's rental apartment. Sure, but I'm really curious about one thing right now. What are your feelings for Cheng Yi? Have you fallen for him? Xiao Shanshan instinctively retorted. How could I possibly like him? I just feel a little guilty towards him. After sending that, Xiao Shanshan immediately closed the chat window. Xiao Shanshan hadn't left the house since she came home. It wasn't that she didn't want to, but her father wouldn't let her. Even if she did go out, someone would follow her. Xiao Shanshan waited for Jiao Jiao's news every day. On the evening of the second day, she saw a new message pop up on her computer. Cheng Yi moved. I couldn't find him. Xiao Shanshan was stunned for a moment, then quickly asked, What about his company? I went to his workplace and asked. His colleagues said he hasn't been to the company since he got injured. It's been so many months. Cheng Yi must have quit, right? Moved, quit. These two words hammered at her sensitive nerves. Xiao Shanshan stared at the computer with a numb expression, a strong sense of unease creeping in like the dark night outside. Jiao Jiao, can you find someone to help me check where Cheng Yi is now? Jiao Jiao asked tentatively. I can, but why are you looking for Cheng Yi? I just have something I want to talk to him about. After sending this message, Xiao Shanshan paused, then asked, Did you run into Qiao Ran when you went to the Qiao Corporation? No, I didn't. Speaking of which, I haven't heard any news about your sister for a long time. Can you ask around for me now? She and Jiao Jiao were in the same circle, and their families had business collaborations, so it would be easy for her to find out about Qiao Ran. Sure, wait a moment. Xiao Shanshan stared at the message. In less than 10 minutes, she received a reply. I found out. Your sister is on annual leave recently. Annual leave? Yeah, I heard she's been on leave for several days. Didn't you know? If she knew, she wouldn't have asked her. Xiao Ran was on annual leave, and Cheng Yi had quit his job. Neither of them were in Rome City. Could it be such a coincidence? The thought of these two possibly getting together made a knot form in Xiao Shanshan's chest, a sense of losing control. She abruptly stood up and went to the living room. Her phone had been confiscated, but there was a landline at home which had Xiao Ran's phone number saved. Xiao Shanshan found Xiao Ran's number and dialed it. The wait was agonizing. The phone rang for a long time before it was answered. Hello. A lazy voice came from the receiver. Xiao Ran, where are you now? Xiao Ran was probably caught off guard by Xiao Shanshan's call. After a brief pause, she said, At home. Which home? I heard you're on vacation recently. Why are you suddenly taking such a long vacation? By the way, I heard Cheng Yi quit his job. Do you know where he went? And how's his leg? Has it recovered? Xiao Shanshan was constantly probing, afraid of hearing Xiao Ran say that she and Cheng Yi were together. Xiao Ran didn't interrupt her, just listened quietly. Suddenly, she let out a soft moan and whispered into the phone, Don't touch there. It tickles. Xiao Shanshan's hand holding the receiver froze. Xiao Ran, what are you doing right now? Then, a familiar voice came through the phone. Be good, don't move. This voice had frequently appeared in her dreams these past few days. A familiar voice, an unfamiliar tone. Cheng Yi had never spoken to her like that. Her sensitive nerves felt like they were being brutally severed by a blunt knife. Xiao Shanshan demanded hysterically. Xiao Ran, who are you with? Answer me. Xiao Ran, with a slight pant, sneered. Xiao Shanshan, are you a maggot in a cesspit? Always looking for trouble? Who I'm with is none of your business. You. Her response was the dial tone. The other person had hung up. Xiao Shanshan stood in the living room, her hair disheveled, her entire body as if frozen by icy water. She gasped for breath, her hands and feet cold, her expression one of utter fury. She frantically pressed the redial button, but no matter how many times she called, no one answered. Ah! Xiao Shanshan screamed hoarsely, then forcefully smashed the phone against the wall. The sound of the phone shattering was ear-piercing. Staring at the fragments on the floor, Xiao Shanshan was like a machine with its strings cut, collapsing to the ground. She wasn't some naive girl. Late at night, a man and a woman alone, from the sounds Xiao Ran was making in their conversation, she could guess what they were doing. The thought of those two doing all sorts of intimate things in a place she didn't know about made Xiao Shanshan feel like she was going crazy. She would not allow it. She would not allow Cheng Yi and Xiao Ran to be together. Cheng Yi was hers. He was hers in the past. He was hers now. Even if they had broken up, he was hers. Even in death, he would be hers. Without her permission, he was not allowed to be with another woman, especially not Xiao Ran. How dare they do this behind her back? Cheng Yi was her boyfriend, Xiao Ran's brother-in-law. How could they do such a thing? Even if she agreed, her parents wouldn't. This was a scandal. Xiao Shanshan's mind seemed to split into countless versions of herself. One was holding a knife, frantically wanting to kill Xiao Ran, while another was trying to console herself. What if she had misheard? After all, it wasn't impossible for people to have similar voices. Seeing is believing. She would only believe it when she saw it with her own eyes. A sharp pain came from her palm. Xiao Shanshan slowly came back to her senses, opening her palm to look at the imprint on her hand. The maid's room door opened. The auntie, having heard the noise, came out. When she saw Xiao Shanshan kneeling on the floor, she was startled and rushed forward. Miss Shanshan, what's wrong? I'm fine. Xiao Shanshan concealed the coldness in her eyes, stood up, and walked straight to the second floor. The maid glanced at her back, then looked down at the broken phone on the floor, completely bewildered. Xiao Shanshan stood in front of the photo wall on the second floor. Her mother loved to document their lives and take pictures of the family. The photos on this wall were almost all taken by her, most of them of her and Xiao Ran together. From elementary school to high school, there were photos of the two sisters doing homework together, doing crafts together, painting together, riding horses together. The once warm photos were now exceptionally jarring. Xiao Shanshan resisted the urge to tear them down. She went back to her room and slammed the door. She didn't want to imagine Xiao Ran and Cheng Yi together, but her mind was filled with images of them. Xiao Shanshan bit her hand and looked out the window. After hanging up, Xiao Ran set her phone to silent. Putting the phone down, she looked at Cheng Yi, who was sitting on the edge of the bed, diligently painting her toenails. Cheng Yi's hands were long and could easily wrap around her ankle. Xiao Ran's feet were beautiful. Her skin was fair, and even her toes were translucent white, like fine white jade. The nail polish he was applying was a pinkish color, which made her feet look even more delicate. It was enough to make someone who didn't originally have certain fetishes feel a stir of excitement. After the nail polish was applied, it needed to dry. Chung-yi had no experience, so he painted and blew on them at the same time, looking as if he were applying medicine to someone. Xiao Ran gently curled her toes, saying in a coquettish tone, "It tickles."